baby. How many times have I told you not to play with knives and guns? Oh, shit. Yeah. Opening music by Johnny Beane.
Oh, wrong one.
Who did that?
That's not nice.
Thank you. There's our magical applause. Hey, everybody, this is Johnny Beane. It's September 1st, 2020, 8:18 p.m. Eastern, 5:18 Pacific. John Mancuda and Neanderthal talking guitars and 80s metal live. This show.
What?
What? Yeah, you flanged out.
It was like, we're live.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was.
There we go. I just muted myself accidentally. Yeah, this is so weird. No, I said this show brought to you by
our executive producers, Charles Green, Joe Christian, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Mike Neese, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Wow. Yeah, they're all channel members here on YouTube. If you'd like to become a sponsor, click the join button below. We're also live on Facebook. So welcome, Facebook friends.
Woohoo! Right now, my mother's on Facebook right now. What's this?
Oh, look, Johnny has a friend. Isn't that nice?
Well, it's a first.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's a real friend or he's just one of those fake friends on the internet.
Well, at least she has pretty hair and big boobs. Oh, wait. It's a guy.
I'll be right back.
All right, Johnny's out already.
Oh, wrong one.
Yeah. Good job.
The quality level of the show has already gotten too crappy for Johnny. Even he's embarrassed to be on the screen with us. Do you believe this?
I do believe this.
Oh man. All right, well let's say hi to everyone. Let's go through a little roll call here. Fender Guru, the British Electric Blues Show. Wow, look at that. Matt Stewart, Thomas Santiago, Jim Nicholas, Brian Spalding, Vistalite 1972, Fruitcake Tony, Steve Carmichael. Steve Carmichael. Marked it. My mother's like, oh, Steve Carmichael. Let's see. Jim Nicholas, Vistalite 1972, Hardwood Steaks, Marky FX, Thunder Falcon. Yeah,
that's a great name.
No need to fear. It's Thunder Falcon. Right? That is a great name, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we're part of the Justice League now. It's like Neanderthal, Mancuda, Thunder Falcon, Apache Chief, Black Vulcan. Let's see. Brandon Buttcheeks, David Nedsballs, Charles Green, Mr. Hellstorm 74, Lenny Lou, and Mary Hooped, Mary Hooped, Les Mancuda, Yostinator, Cobra Kai Platoon, looking through Mr. C5150, Janice Lala, hey Janice, Chris Bevan, Joe Herbie 84, my brother. Let's see. Ben Tom. I always screw this up. It gets a Johnny Beane in the house, John Biel, Neanderthals in the house. Just because I know she'll be here, Sandra Picorni. Picorni, Picorni, me love you long time.
Yep, that's happening.
Amanda Coombs, because I know she'll be watching, and everyone else that'll pop in as we schlep along. Tube Supio.
Tube Supio.
Tube Supio. Oh, Jesus, Rapes Me just jumped in. Oh, there's Sandra. There you go. Everyone's here.
Welcome.
We're all here. Welcome.
Welcome,
Isn't
everybody.
that nice?
Isn't that nice? He has friends. Paulie, what's your shirt say? Is that Little Debbie or
That's
Fat Little Debbie?
Little diabetes.
Loved Little Diabetes.
Oh no.
Yep. Little diabetes.
Nice. Little Diabetes.
Gone but not forgotten.
I know, right? Oh, what a cutie she was. What a cutie she was. Hey, speaking of... Oh, well, go ahead, Paulie.
I was just going to say, I'm going to start off by just saying, if you don't own this CD, we're talking 80s metal, you should own this CD. The band is a Canadian band called Brighton Rock. The lead singer, Jerry, passed away last week, the same week that we lost Frankie Benali.
Oh,
this is their debut album called Young, Wild, and Free. It should have been a massive record in the 80s, and it wasn't because they're Canadian. And most Canadian bands from that era did not do well. Helix, Tangential, Triumph obviously lost in the shuffle. Killer Dwarfs lost in the shuffle. Was Kick-Axe Canadian?
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah,
I know Sebastian Bach moved down to Jersey for a reason.
Right, yeah. So most of those Canadian bands during the hair band era did not do well. And that Brighton Rock is one of those bands. That record should be good. It's full of like the perfect prototypical 80s anthems. If I could compare it to anything, it would be Skid Row meets Helix meets Cinderella or Britney Fox, because there's the occasional, screeching, screaming lyrics that sound very similar and of their time. So there's a school. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Unfortunately, it probably didn't help that their first single in the United States was "We Came to Rock," and it doesn't. Like, it's got keyboards on it. It's got a lot of keyboards on it and shit. We came to rock. No, that didn't work.
Well, first of all, when you start an album with "We Came," that's already like, oh, I don't want that, And then to rock, it's like everyone came to rock. Amir to rock.
I'm glad that that's the worst name in metal history. Amir to rock, you fucking loser. I have nothing. I have nothing against Amir. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I just hate
he is a nice guy.
I hate your stupid fake name. I'm here to rock.
It's the name, man. It's the
worst name.
It's not you, Amir.
It's not you, Amir. It's your stupid name. Why did you do that?
Right now, he's like, my girlfriend and her daughter really love this metal show. I'm going to tune it. Oh, man.
I feel like Henry Hill and Goodfellas. Amir, why did you do that, Amir? They would have never found it, Amir. They would have never found it. I'm sorry.
You could have been successful. You could have been good.
Your name is Amir to rock. Shut up. By the way, I gotta run over there. Ace is going to eat my Contraband CD.
Nice. Let him.
Oh,
all the way to Memphis wasn't really the best effort those guys could have put out. Come on. You got Tracy Guns in there, man. You could have done so much more.
I had to save my Contraband CD.
Well, someone had to. I threw mine against the wall.
Are you sure it's still in there?
Oh yeah, no,
in the wall.
He didn't get it. He didn't chew it up. He did drool on it though.
Ned's learned how to open doors and stuff.
Oh no, my dogs are pretty smart. They know how to open doors, and close doors too. They figure that out. They're like, all right, fuck you, I'm done with you.
If they know how to open a jar, the gefilte fish is.
Yes, it needs to be opened.
Sticking.
It's been opened.
My mother called me the other day and she's like, I had a horrible experience because nothing's ever good in Jewish motherland, right? So I said, what happened, Ma? Oh, so there I was, I'm making dinner. I'm looking in the fridge and I see nothing. So I go in the freezer. I pull out fish sticks. I'm like, fish sticks?
Fish sticks.
Pull out fish sticks. She's like,
your mom likes fish sticks?
I pull out fish sticks, and then I made the mistake of microwaving them, and then they were all hard. And I was like, so you had hard fish sticks in your mouth? Well, yeah. It's like,
you got to get
like,
that.
I got to write this down, Ma. I just got to write this down. Yeah. I just got to start recording conversations with my mother because my cup runneth over with material, Hard fish sticks. Can you imagine?
And Lord knows this show could use some material.
Yeah, I know, really. Yeah, I woke up this morning. I looked down. I saw Mr. Limpet. Let's talk fish.
I have been doing everything I can to not identify this asshole that I was telling you about the other day.
I know.
Back and forth. Yeah, it's funny because we sit here and we love this show and we love the bands that we talk about on this show. And on occasion, you get a chance to connect with some of these band members from some of these bands that we appreciate by way of social media. And then you realize that some of these band members are conspiracy nut, wing nut, fucking total douchebags. And you wonder to yourself, well, why did this guy not make it? Oh, yeah, that's why, because he's a complete asshole. And I had to unfriend one of those guys this week, a guy who was the bass player on a fairly seminal record, a very big record.
Semen is the seminal.
Well, here's the thing. This guy I'm not going to identify him by name because fuck him. I'm not going to give him the publicity. But he was in Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years. He's one of the guys interviewed in the movie, and I'm going to leave it at that.
There you
go. But on his own Wikipedia page that he clearly wrote, because when you look at it, it's like, he's this essential part of several.
Of several bands that succeeded after he left.
Yes, you read the page, right? It's like he was in one of the biggest. He claims to have named one of the biggest shock rock bands of their era. He claims to have named that band and then was kicked out. And by the way, nobody in that band really acknowledges it
or remembers him.
He was
in our band? Well, yeah, before we, got together and did an album.
Before we were famous.
Yeah, one of the garage guys. Okay. Was he the one that swept up the garage? No, he played bass.
Here's the guy that was not even in London. That's how inconsequential he was. He never did any time in London. That's how, and I don't mean the city. I mean the terrible hair band that was basically the prostitute on the strip for everybody. Like Slash went through London, Nikki Sixx went through London. Like all these guys went through London. It was like the farm league for all these bands. This guy wasn't even in that band, but he was the bass player on a very, very important metal record from the early 80s. And long story short, he posted something that was knowingly false. This thing that was going around social media, which was a false quote attributed to Larry Bird from the Boston Celtics. You've probably seen it. It's that quote where he talks about NBA players kneeling. And back in my day, we had standards, shut up and play the game.
Yeah, back in my day, we used to roll hoops across. Shooting hoops, that was a crazy concept. We used to roll hoops with a stick.
So he knowingly shares this misinformation. And I respectfully said to him, I'm like, dude, just so you know, he never said that. And his response was, well, I don't care if he said it or not. I agree with the sentiment. I said, that's cool, but you should take this down because what it does is it perpetuates an untruth among stupid and ignorant people who make decisions based upon misinformation. And that's why we are where we are today. His response was, seeing as you sent a friend request to me, I'll thank you for your unsolicited opinion on my Facebook page. I was like, oh, okay, I see how we're going with this. Let me rectify that immediately. Best wishes. Boom. Deleted. Fuck you. You has been, also ran, never was. good luck in whatever city you fucking land in, because you couldn't make it in Los Angeles. Because he's currently, if you know who this guy is and you follow him on social media, he's currently making his way across the United States with his wife/girlfriend or whomever she is, trying to find a new place to populate because he's run out of options in Los Angeles. Think about that for a second. You can't find a fucking band to play with in Los Angeles.
Oh, I thought he was looking for a home.
I think he might be.
I thought he was looking for a home. I thought it was like no-tell motel. No, that's $36 a night. Can't do that, honey. We got to stick to the budget of 15.
No, he's looking for a new place to live,
honey. There's a bridge.
So he's looking for a new place to live, and just long story short, or long story unnecessarily longer. Every once in a while, you hear that "don't meet your heroes." This guy certainly wasn't a hero, but he was he's again bass player on a very important record for its time, arguably the first quote unquote shred record that label put out, and to find out he's a complete and utter cocksucker was very disappointing.
He's a hero like you'd find at Subway sandwiches. You know, he's that kind of hero, like a soggy tuna sandwich. Like
he's one of those guys that talks about past glories, like Al Bundy, 4 touchdowns in one game. Like he constantly, he constantly posts like news articles based upon this band that he was in that never did anything. I mean, they probably got some feature stories in the Recycler in 1985 or whatever it was, but on the national stage, they were never anybody.
But they did play at the Rainbow once or twice. I definitely know they were on flyers hung up on posts at one time. So I mean, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. He's one of the bass player in one of hundreds of bands that played on the strips in the 80s. Evo 8, we're not mentioning who it specifically is. Someone Paul had an interaction with this week. And by the way, someone asked, is it Chris Holmes? No, everyone hears Decline of the Western Civilization, and they always are like, well, Chris Holmes was it. Yeah, it's not Chris. Chris is a great guy.
No, I thought he was in the whole movie.
Yeah, he was basically the big scene.
That's the only thing everybody remembers from that.
Yeah,
that's it. So, and by the way, hi to Dave Nesdall in the chat. I just saw you come in. How are you, brother?
What up?
One of the great things about this guy is, again, he wrote his own Wikipedia page. So he refers to his appearance in that movie as, he's like, yes, he has a featured role in the heavy metal parody film Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2. Newsflash, it wasn't a parody. It was a legitimate documentary look at what was going on the Sunset Strip in 1987-88. Your participation and other fucktards like you that didn't make it are what make it looks like a parody. You and fucking Odin and Seduce and all the other bands that never happened. That's what makes it a parody. And 40 years later, you're still a fucking parody.
Glory days. Don't let them pass you by, glory days.
So that's the unfortunate part is, sometimes these guys in these bands that we love so much turn out to be assholes. And I experienced one of them this week.
Man, I thought that was all this morning.
No, but
no. This happened a couple of days ago.
Paul and I talked about it a couple of days ago. It's actually very funny.
Yeah, it's great because Vistalight 72 brings up a great point. That's tough, by the way. It's not tough to UFF. It's not Stevie Rochelle. It's nobody in Tough. Tough would have been successful compared to what this guy did.
I like Tough. I know Tough get a bad rap in my eyes. I like them.
I got it. Don't give me that shit.
What's that ballad? I Hate Kissing You Goodbye.
I Hate Kissing You Goodbye.
I love that song.
I can't badmouth Tough. That's not gonna
I like them. I like Stevie Rochelle. I like those guys. There they are.
I was very, very disappointed when Stevie outed himself as the guy behind Metal Sludge. I thought Metal Sludge was a great website. It's still a great website, but nobody checks it out like they used to.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed when Stevie outed himself because I thought that the mystery behind that was very fucking cool. But Vistalight brings up a good point. Can't find a gig in LA as a bass player? Yeah. That's how you know you burnt every bridge.
There's always an ad because everyone ditches the bass player. So there's always an ad in the recycler, in the on telephone poles, at the Ralph's supermarket billboard. Bass player wanted, drummer, bass player wanted, bass player wanted, bass player wanted, shoes for sale, old Louboutin knockoffs. Bass player wanted, I will deliver your groceries and also play bass. There's a lot of bass player wanted. There's a lot of bass player wanted ads everywhere. So yeah.
Hey, Dwight Bailey, welcome.
Fruitcake Tony wants to know, am I a fan of Metal Church? They were okay. They were one of those heavy bands that, like, I had them on a couple of cassettes. Like I just got them because, you know, it was another thing to get that week that something came out, and I put them in. But like, you know, they were a little more heavier for me than like something I would go in the car and like search for a single. It's one of those metal bands that like I'd put in and just drive and just enjoy the background of their music versus like, oh, I got to go to track 3. I love that one. You know, it's like, it's one of those, you know.
Gods of Wrath to me is one of the best metal songs of its time. The first Metal Church record is fantastic. The second one, Blessing in Disguise, is also pretty good. After that second record, when David Wayne left to form Reverend, you know, at that point I lost interest, but the first 2 Metal Church records are pretty friggin' good. Again, another band that sort of sits alongside Armored Saint and a couple of these other bands that you really couldn't categorize. But if you want to hear a great song, well-written song structure, well-produced, powerful as hell, Gods of Wrath from Metal Church's debut album is fantastic. Yeah, Jay points out a great point. They were the songs are good, the production is awful. I don't think they had much of a budget.
And Jay knows.
Yeah, Jay knows how to, you know.
Jay knows how to produce.
That's the funny thing is with Jay has an appreciation for a lot of these bands. What he does have is utter disdain for a lot of these horrible productions. And he's right. A lot of the records back then were just poorly produced because the bands got their advance money and it went up their nose instead of into the project.
Yeah, and that was like so common.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Yeah.
Thunder Falcon says, I thought it would be hard to find a drummer for my band, but it was harder to find a good bass player. Go figure.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Yeah, bass players are very, very difficult to find.
Now Tony wants to know, am I a Rough Cut fan? Tony, you're just going to go through every band. Tony's just like Googling metal bands. Let's see what Mancuda's a fan of.
I love Rough Cut. First 2 Rough Cut albums.
I liked Rough Cut. And again, that's more melodic. That's more my thing. You know, I'm more into the melodic than the thrash. I mean, I like certain, you know, heavier bands. Again, you know, the typical Anthrax, Slayer, Metallica, Testament, you know, Megadeth is even more melodic. So it's, I mean, all those guys, you know,
well,
Anthrax.
That's the thing is, a lot of those heavier bands just weren't very good. And the good ones stood out. I mean, the good ones really stood out. The Anthrax is obviously the big 4. And then, you know, the big 4 plus 2, if you count Testament and Exodus.
Yeah.
You know, and then, yeah, Metal Church is one of those bands. Metal Church was a band that, again, the first 2 records, again, a similar situation with a lot of bands. First 2 records were great. Then gay. What?
First 2 records were gay. I mean, great.
And then, but then
screaming for penis.
John BL, did you get that?
Yeah. And then lineup instability screwed them. You know, when you lose a key member and you try to recapture it, and you're a band that never really broke through on the main stage, you know, they were sort of a secondary band. Another band called Malice was like that. Wrote some decent stuff. Lizzie Borden, as was mentioned in the chat, another band that was pretty good, but never really broke through. And lineup instability, and you know, when your band breaks up every 18 months, it's very difficult to be consistent, get out there and tour and put out a new album every, you know, 24 months.
And, you know, heavier stuff. I also liked Armored Saint. I liked Overkill.
Armored Saint's great. Yeah.
You know, again, I think Armored Saint had a more melodic thing too, for me at least. Anyway, you know, I didn't
like Overkill that much.
there was something about him, man. It's not just the cool logo of the skull with the bat wings, because that is the cool aspect I consider when I look for my metal. But there was something about him. Again, it was almost like Metal Church. Like, it's one of those, I'm gonna grab some heavy stuff and throw it in the car and just like pop it in on a road trip, you know?
Right. Yeah. Oh, Margaret, that's Ace. And the other one is Lemmy. And they're not named after, well, one of them is obviously named after Lemmy, and the other one is not named after anybody in particular. That was his name when I got him from the rescue, and I thought, well, that's perfect because I've got a dog named Lemmy. Ace Frehley was the guy that made me want to play guitar, and the biggest song in Motorhead's catalog is Ace of Spades. I have to have this dog. And it turned out to be great because I was the guy that needed to save him. He couldn't be placed with a regular family. He had to be with somebody that lived by themselves because he's not a very social animal. He will bite.
Yeah. Well,
will.
Yeah. Cheers to Margaret for being a dog lover, because I'm a massive. That's my weakness. I'm just a massive dog lover.
Yeah. Hey, Margaret, good to see you. Yeah, I love dogs and cats now. Thanks.
I love cats too.
I love cats, but I'm allergic. So
I'm feeding several feral cats outside this window right now. It's 110 degrees here in Phoenix, and we've got a lot of feral cats in my neighborhood. They keep roof rats away. They keep scorpions away. They keep snakes away. So I feed them. I put a bowl of water and a bowl of food out every day for them. The morning doves usually.
I put a bowl of scorpions out for them.
So I love Chris Bevan mentioning the band Trash. I have Burning Rock on CD. That's a tough. I think they're Danish or Belgian.
Cheese Danish, preferably.
Hey, cheese, a C. What a bouncy C.
Give me a C, a bouncy C.
Lillian Axe Mr. Hellstorm. Lillian Axe used to live down the street from me in New Orleans. Stevie Blaze is one of the coolest kids you'll ever meet. Nice guys, really nice guys.
And let's see, Fruitcake Tony brings up Saxon. You like Saxon more than Judas Priest? I love both.
Very similar bands.
No question there. Priest obviously hit it bigger, but I mean, Saxon's got some great stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
everything prior to Destiny is exceptional, and then they lost their way on Destiny, and then came back on SPV out of Germany and started releasing good records again. But they lost it when they tried to break in the United States with their cover of Christopher Cross's Ride Like the Wind. Big mistake.
Yeah. I mean, I like that song, but I only like it when he does it.
Yeah, no, that was a huge tactical error on Saxon's part. They were blatantly trying to break into the United States, and that was a bad idea.
That was their choice, huh?
But when did they release that? Because that song
87, 88.
Yeah, that's too late for anybody to be doing that song.
They have their own material that's so good already.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, I mean, if you're just getting into Saxon, you can't go wrong with Denim and Leather, Strong Arm of the Law.
Just get the greatest hits.
Crusader. Yeah, just grab a box set. Yeah.
Except that'll be on it.
Yeah, it'll all be on it.
Unfortunately, Ride Like the Wind will be on it.
But Saxon's got a lot of good material. I mean, you know what it is? Priest just made such an impact immediately. They're like Iron Maiden. They just kind of came in like a hurricane, you know, with some really catchy stuff. And all of a sudden, boom, everyone has them on the back of their denim or leather, you know.
What's interesting about Saxon, and they're great, this is, I think, a great analogy to make with it. Saxon is to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden what Testament and Exodus are to the Big Four.
Yeah, to Metallica.
You know what I mean? Saxon is a great band unto itself, but there wasn't room for another one. There was only room for Priest and Maiden and Dio, and there wasn't room for Saxon. And they were too English. Like they never. By the time they tried to break in the United States, it was over.
Who wants a kipper out there? Give me the fish. Go on, yeah, kippers for you.
Fantastic band, wrote fantastic riffs. Made a horrible error in that 1987-88 record, Destiny, which is one of the only Saxon albums I don't own.
I have the catalog. I
have most of the catalog. I don't own Destiny.
Yeah, I'm one of those completists. Like for the most part, Paulie and I'll both buy. We'll just go in. All right, what don't I have from this band? Their later works in the '90s and the 2000s. What's newest? Even if it sucks, you just kind of want to have that whole catalog. See, like, yeah, these were great. This one, I just have it. Then these two were good.
That's the whole reason why I own Lulu.
Oh God,
it gives you something new to listen to as well when the other stuff.
Yeah,
because you can get tired of listening to the same stuff over and over.
And nothing against Lou Gramm on his own. I mean, Midnight Blue was a cool song, and Ready or Not was a cool song. But it's like, and all the Foreigner stuff, of course. But it's like with Metallica, it's just like, ugh.
You're getting Lou Gramm confused with Lou Reed.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah. But I bought S&M 2. It came out on Friday. I bought the 2 CD version of S&M 2. Didn't even crack the plastic, just put it in the rack. I'm not going to listen to it. It's there, and eventually it will get ripped into my hard drive, and I'll put it on shuffle, and those songs will come up. Bo Bulware asks, yes, I own all 3 Icon records. Fantastic band.
When Metallica played with Lenny Lou on that album, I was just like, it's just two genres that doesn't mix. They just don't. It was just the wrong mix, Do you remember Icon? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Icon made a mark.
I have they put out 3 records, 4 really, if you count. There was an unofficial release that was, I think, self-produced by the band, but they put out 3 records, distinctly different records too. First record is the heaviest. The second one is called Night of the Crime, which was a pretty good record, but didn't really happen for them. And then the third one is the one that Eddie Trunk produced. That must have been not very good.
That must have been a good show. Margaret saying she saw Saxon open for Loudness. That must have been a very cool show because
I saw that show. I think it was Saxon, Loudness, and TNT.
Oh wow! Why don't we get lineups like that anymore? I mean, there was
wrong on that one, but
obviously
I think
the stadium
Loudness
tour.
And TNT.
Oh, what a great lineup that is!
Yeah, it was a fantastic lineup, and that was TNT touring on Knights of the New Thunder record. So it was before they had become very commercial. They were still really heavy.
Did Loudness play Walk and Wall Crazy Nights?
Yes, they did. They came out and the show began with "Hero Motherfuckers."
I love it. You know what's really funny? He probably gets backstage and goes, Yes, I sang Walk and Wall Crazy Nights. Why do you ask? He probably, I think he lost that accent early on, and he just sings it that way anyway because they're like, well, that's the way it is on the album originally,
I have a bunch of like later Loudness records, like when they went back to Japan and just gave up on America, and they got really heavy, much heavier.
They've been so consistent. Yeah. And again, I'm like you. I have like a stack of Loudness, probably like 20 albums.
Yeah.
But between, here in Japan, just stuff that wasn't released here, and just really, really amazing guitar work.
Yeah. Akira Takasaki is one of the more underrated guitar players.
And probably because he's in a band in a different country that never really broke here the way the British bands did. I don't know why. I mean, if you listen to Lightning Strikes and Hurricane Eyes is an incredible album.
Yep.
Ashes in the Sky. Oh my God. If you want to try a Loudness song aside from Everyone Knows Rock and Roll Crazy Nights, listen to Ashes in the Sky. It's an incredible song.
No, they're a really good band. I'm looking at the Loudness section right now. There's a Thunder in the East an anniversary edition that came out a few years ago. It's like a mini box that's outstanding. It's got some DVD stuff on it and live stuff. Tough band to find their catalog in this country. But well worth
on eBay. On eBay, you could probably find some. Some might not be cheap though. I'm sure some are out of print.
Bo brings up Girl School. Love Girl School. Own most of their stuff too. Yeah, tough to find. Play Dirty on CD right now, unless you find it on eBay or Amazon. I like to go to record stores and find them at the store.
Yeah, if you go in the used bins right now, you will, and again, just start from A, go to Z. You'll be like, oh, I remember these guys. Yeah. Just stuff you wouldn't be thinking of, or things you didn't even know that came out.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff. I love finding out that bands have put out, all this music, like Mr. Big put out all this music over in Japan.
I didn't even know.
Did you know? You have no idea how many albums Mr. Big has out, right?
I found out, but initially I didn't know.
Yeah. All people think of is that they put out like 4 albums in the United States, not realizing that there are like 5 other studio albums and like 6 live albums and a box set with 22 discs in it that came out in Japan. Phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
They're huge over there.
Jim Nicholas wants to know, do I own any performance guitars from Hollywood? He says Vi and Warren DeMartini used to use them. I own I've had it on the show before. Mark Ferrari had a Charvel, a camouflage Charvel from the Right to Rock video, and that has a performance neck on it because Mark wound up getting an endorsement from Performance and kept that guitar, but switched the neck to a Performance. And then there was also a story, Ron Keel threw the original one into a fireplace after a fight or something. But yeah, so I own half a Performance guitar. I've played a couple of them. I played, I think it was a Corsair, if I remember it. They're good guitars. I mean, they're really good guitars. That was an early custom shop. If you wanted a really good local custom shop in the Hollywood area, that's where you went. And they would, pretty much make you whatever you wanted. I mean, again, you had Jackson, Charvel, BC Rich. You had those guys out here too. But there was something about Performance that were like really, really, tuned in, especially when you had guys like Warren and Steve Vai, playing your stuff on stage. You're like, oh, Performance, where's that? That's out here. That's right out here, So great stuff.
Margaret Scranton references Shotgun Messiah, but she refers to them as Shogun Messiah, Meshyah. Messiah.
But we know who you mean.
Yeah, and Harry Cody is a great guitar player, one of the few guys not named Steve Vai who played Ibanez Gem guitars and could make it work because it was neon and it worked for that band. Shotgun Messiah, fantastic band.
I remember the first 2.
Yeah, I remember the first 2 were good. The third one became a little bit more industrial sounding.
Didn't someone leave by the third album?
The lead singer left. And Tim Skold, who would go on to play in industrial bands, ended up taking direction of the band, and it wasn't as good. The first Shotgun Messiah record is
tremendous.
Again, another one of those great albums that flew under the radar.
Yeah, because it was in that last wave of 80s guys to come out, and they all came out at one. Taiketo and South Gang and Shotgun Messiah and Danger, and they were the last wave that came out. Jimmy Biter wants to know, do I have any Robin guitars? I have 2 of them. I think both I've had on the show. One was one's a pink Robinite. One's a pink Robinite, and one is
a pink.
No, it's a tangerine metallic that used to belong to Tim Kelly of Slaughter. So I have those. I've had them both on the show. I've had those.
I remember that. Yeah.
The Slaughter guitar. The Slaughter guitar has Tim's name on the headstock. The person who got it after Tim passed away, unfortunately, had an autograph of Tim's, and he had a decal guy make a decal of Tim's signature and put it on the headstock as a tribute. Fruitcake Tony wants to know, what's today's show and tell guitar? Is it a celebrity guitar? It is a celebrity guitar. I'll say, let's see, here's a clue. We actually talked about the bands that this guy was in last week. There's a hint for you. And actually, I even mentioned, don't watch all 4 hours of last week's show. Not right now, at least. But Fruitcake Tony's going to go scanning. He's going to go scanning. Yeah, after you can find out. But I actually mentioned that I have a guitar from him. But yeah, this guy was in multiple bands. I mentioned last week that I had a guitar of his, and this week, by request, I brought it on. So there's your clue.
Going back to thrash metal and fun riffs, big Infectious Grooves fan. I love Infectious Grooves. I don't know if you ever listened to them, John, but
Me too.
yeah, I mean, just the funky side of Suicidal Tendencies. Obviously, that was the band that introduced me to Robert Trujillo. I mean, obviously I knew he was in Suicidal, but I didn't know he was that great a bass player. But you see it in the Infectious records. They put out 4 or 5 records. I have them all. The last one is called Borracho. Real difficult to find. But great cover of David Bowie's Fame. They do a great cover of Immigrant Song. And of course, their original stuff is fantastic. Ozzy sings on the one single that you've heard from them called Therapy.
Yeah, no, I liked them too. Zoinks. There you go. Yeah, I mean, there's, look, the good thing about 80s metal, there's always something else to discover. I mean, I constantly get things sent to me, just from fans and stuff of like, hey, have you heard this? Hey, have you heard this? And then like, I go looking for the stuff, and most of the time I have it. Like, Paul and I both have stupid, ridiculous collections of out of print stuff of bands that like now, like the guitarist is working as a stockbroker, the bass player is a janitor, the frontman killed himself in 1993. I mean, we have these incredible collections of all these obscurities, and yet even him and I can still go into like an amoeba music and find shit randomly in the bins, just like, oh, they look metal. Never heard of them. And then I'll Google it. And I'm like, oh, okay. That drummer was in this. Who was in this? Who knew JoJo the Chimp? Okay, got it. There you go.
Everybody knows JoJo the Chimp.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, the good thing is everyone knows and loves Blue Rhino. So there you go. He's sweet and lovable. JoJo's notorious. That's the problem.
What's funny is on occasion, if I'm in a CD store and I see a CD of a band that I already own the album, but I know the album is hard to find, I'm almost tempted to buy it a second time, just in case the one I have shits the bed.
I have.
Like I've seen
I have done that.
I've seen Refugee from Bad for Good like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, I really should get a second copy of that because I don't know what's going to happen if that thing goes. Of course, I have all my music backed up on digital, but digital is not the same. It's that you don't get, I mean, you only see one bookcase in this shop, but there are 5 others over there and this one here. And I mean, I've got thousands of CDs here. And I don't
actually, I found a picture of the other side of your wall.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I had said to Johnny Beane before we started the show tonight, I'm like, yeah, I got a great CD I'm going to recommend to John Mancuda. He goes, what's a CD? I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
It's like when Johnny says, I haven't seen the movie. It's like, come on, Beane. It's Star Wars. Come on. You've at least heard of it.
I meant I haven't seen it today.
No, I like, it's like I was watching Saturday's show and, I lurk. I watch Saturday's show and I'm seeing you guys talk about Full Metal Jacket. And Jay says, yeah, that was a great movie. And Caleb says, oh my God, remember that scene? And then Paul's saying, yes, Gunnery Sergeant Hartman was terrific. And then Johnny's like, yeah, I haven't seen that one. It's like, motherfucker, you fuck everything up.
Oh my God.
I just want to get you like a catalog of DVDs and Blu-rays and just sit you down like Clockwork Orange style. So you're like,
no.
Oh, Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. What's your name, scumbag?
Wait, we got the thumbnail. Hang on.
No, but the beautiful
looking for metal. What's your name, scumbag? Private Snowball.
The beautiful part about that is Johnny Beane is to movies what we are to music. Like you were just talking about how we can go into a CD store and just sort of be thumbing through the racks and crate digging and go, oh yeah, there's a band out, Burning Rain. I like Doug Aldrich. I think I'll buy this and I'll buy all of them. And so you do that. Johnny can do that with movies. Johnny can be like, Blues Brothers. I've heard that's pretty good. I should probably see it.
That one I grew up on.
Oh, okay.
I grew up on that one. And when Steve Cropper came walking into the store,
Steve Cropper,
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it was him. You know.
It's like my Ferris Bueller moment with the Principal Rooney. I see him. I've told this story before. I'll give a quick abridged version. So I'm in Beverly Hills one day years ago, and Ferris Bueller is one of my favorite movies. And I happened to see standing at the street walk with me is Principal Ed Rooney. I forgot his real name.
Jeffrey something or other. Jeffrey Jones, I think, or Jeffrey
Jones.
Is it Jeffrey Jones?
Yeah.
Okay. See, he knows that, right?
Well, I
looked it up. He looked it up.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
John Biel'd.
Yeah. John Biel. It's like instead of Google, Johnny has a little search engine says John Biel.
Yes.
Instead of Ask Jeeves, it's Ask John Biel.
So just keep in mind, later on, he would be arrested for.
This is what it is. This is what it is. I'm standing at the street walk with him. I'm at the crosswalk, and I never, I'm an actor too. I never, not to his level, but I never get starstruck. I've worked with De Niro. I've worked with a lot of big names in various capacities, and I just happen to really like that movie. So, he looked kind of melancholy. So I'm like, I wonder if it would cheer him up if I kind of, went a little fanish on him and just complimented his work. So, one actor to another, one of those kind of things. So I go, hey, I don't want to bother you, but just for the record, I really enjoyed your work. What are you working on now? And he gives me the stare of death. And he just looks almost through me and says, "Fighting child pornography charges, asshole." And he storms off as if I knew that, because apparently I didn't know it was like the headline of the day that he was fighting. It was like in that day's newspaper. And here I am. He's all miserable. I'm thinking, oh, he looks kind of lonely, or maybe I'll cheer his day up. Stupid, didn't read the paper or the news or anything. I didn't fucking know, but it was just one of those great moments.
Was that the look?
It was just like that, but like a little more smoke coming out of his ears, like, you motherfucker,
I always thought he would have been a great Inspector Clouseau.
Oh, he would have been.
Yeah, if they decided to reboot that franchise in the 80s, obviously not now, but at that time, if they'd have rebooted any of the Pink Panther movies,
because it's Steve Martin now.
Great, he would have been a great Inspector Clouseau.
He would have been terrific.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that Ed Rooney character, and it might as well be Clouseau.
Yeah, I know, totally. Could you imagine like redoing the scene from Ferris Bueller where he's in the office on the phone? You just enter the scene and, I touched your children. Ed, huh? Yeah, Ed, Child Protective Services online too.
Yeah.
Rooney, I want to talk to you about your wandering fingers.
Here's something I
love for my daughter Sloan.
We've talked about this before with regard to Back to the Future being incredibly rapey, and nobody said anything about it. How about this? Ed Rooney in Ferris Bueller is standing on the steps of the high school when Sloan Peterson is dismissed for the day to be picked up by allegedly her father, who's Ferris Bueller. Gives her a big wet kiss on the lips, Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump style. And Rooney's response is, so that's how it is in their family. So he suspected incest and said nothing.
Well, yeah, because he ran to the bathroom to masturbate. He's like, so that's how it is in that family. Oh, that family. I wonder what Jennifer Grey looks like. I wonder if Mr. Bueller tongue kisses her. I love that nose.
By the way, Jennifer Grey.
Wait.
Jennifer Grey, worst nose job in the history of fucking Hollywood.
Before you say that,
do that.
What I just did is another clue to today's show and tell celebrity guitar, technically. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. That is literally a clue. No joke. Okay, go ahead. And I agree with Jennifer Grey. That nose job totally took her personality away.
She was stunningly beautiful before the nose job. After the nose job, just became another good-looking Hollywood celebrity. But before she had character, she stood out.
She was a cutie.
She was gorgeous, gorgeous. There was something really magical about her, and it was the nose and the squinty eyes. I don't know that she would have aged well with that face. She might have aged like Sarah Jessica Parker or Bette Midler, but you don't know. But for that, at that point, I've never seen all of Dirty Dancing, but I've seen enough of Dirty Dancing to know how fucking gorgeous she was in it.
Johnny, you want to leap into my arms, or you haven't seen that? Nobody puts Johnny Beane in a corner.
I've seen parts of it.
Oh, jeez. Johnny basically was in the movie theater and he's like, do you want popcorn? Shh, Johnny, quiet. All right, I'm going to get us popcorn. Johnny made like 5 trips to the bathroom, popcorn, Milk Duds. They give free refills on the popcorn. Do you want another drink? Johnny just kept going up. Oh, what a difference, man.
Look at the before. The before picture is so, and I don't care that she's older in the next, in the other picture. I don't care about that.
The age. The nose gave her cuteness. There was something about her.
Character. Her lips, her eyes, everything was so, she was fucking, that was a 10. In my opinion, that's a 10.
I don't know about it.
On the other side, she was
very cute. She was very cute.
Oh, she's so good. So cute. And then, meh. And then she just became, she looks like Eva Longoria, which is cute, which is nice.
It's not a bad thing if she looked like Eva Longoria, but
she doesn't, but it took away all of her character.
Something cute and unique about her.
Yeah, it sucked. That was very disappointing to me.
Ed, stop masturbating. Ferris Bueller's here.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, that was, I believe, Charlie Sheen's first appearance in film.
Was it?
I think so, yeah. I
don't think that was his first appearance, was it?
It was either that or when he was one of the extras in was that fucking military movie that Charlie Sheen
the one that I haven't seen?
Tom Cruise was in. The one where they were the Academy. I think Charlie Sheen was in that too.
Top Gun?
No.
I never saw that.
We're on the 4th of July.
No, it's the one where they're all cadets. They're young. They're really young.
You Can't Handle the Truth, that one? No, that came later, right?
John B.O.
Where did Charlie Sheen first appear? What band was Charlie Sheen in as a bass player? Hollywood Vampires. Yes. Yeah, all I know is Boba Fett's first appearance was in the Star Wars Christmas special. Also, Lumpy's first appearance.
Lumpy.
Oh,
Taps.
So horrible.
Oh, Taps.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe
Charlie. There you go.
I believe Charlie Sheen may have been in Taps. Was he in
Thank
Taps?
you, John B.L.
What year was Taps?
81.
John B.L., I win. You did get in first, brother. Thank you.
Are you sure? I don't even see that on here.
I think it was officially called Tap Dadass. Look up Tap Dadass, Johnny. See what comes up.
I'll Google that right now.
Tap Dadass. It was from.
Are you sure, John B.L.?
Robot Master Switch says Pony Boy. That was The Outsiders, man.
Platoon.
Stay golden.
Platoon?
No.
Tom Cruise wasn't in Platoon.
Red Dawn?
Now you're just guessing.
He was in Red Dawn.
Yeah, I'm looking at the IMDb.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was uncredited in his first 2 movies. Then he was in a bad. No, Red Dawn was, I guess, the first big movie he was in.
Was he in Outsiders? I don't remember him in The Outsiders.
I don't think he was in Outsiders. No,
Tom Cruise was in Outsiders, but I don't remember Charlie Sheen.
The only movies of note he was in Red Dawn. He was in Lucas, which was a terrible movie. And then Ferris Bueller's Day Off was the big. I think that's the first big movie he was in. And then Platoon was obviously his star turn.
Rooney, I want to talk to you. I'm so mad.
You are an asshole.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole. I've watched that movie like 100 times. I could watch it like 500 more times.
My favorite line in the entire movie is when Matthew Broderick is got the fucking clarinet in his mouth. He goes, never had one lesson. I know that it's a tiny little thing. It's like the most innocuous scene, but every time I see it, I fucking double over laughing. It's just so good. That and when he sits up and he goes, amazing. One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second. Those are my two favorite parts of the entire movie.
There's so many I love. I love. There's so much of it. There's so many quotes. There's just so many quotes.
And of course, you know, when you're a kid, you're looking at all the posters on the walls in the back to see if you can be turned on to any cool bands.
Didn't like Jennifer Grey have like a Bon Jovi poster? And
I don't remember. Yeah, I remember those like some Cure posters or Depeche Mode or something like that, or Einstürzende the Neubauten, some shit like that. Yeah, Jennifer Grey is fucking so cute. She was so cute.
Right now, Jennifer's gonna call you up and hi, Paul. So you won't take me out?
I'd take that call. I'd take that call.
That's
every
a call
time.
you take. That's
every time. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I would pay to have her nose fixed.
Oh, there you go.
That's a Gretsch White Falcon that he's playing there.
Yeah,
It's
Gretsch
probably
White Falcon.
I wonder whose that was.
My guess is that came out right around the same time as Love from the Cult. So, and Brian Setzer, you know, obviously the Stray Cats were big at that point. So I'm guessing Brian Setzer, Billy Duffy were probably the inspiration for those.
Nice.
But yeah, those are, you know, and again, cool movies. I mean, they don't make cool teen comedy movies like that anymore because it was smart too. When you think about it, it wasn't overly profane. It wasn't overly sexual. It was just a good story about screwing off.
It's the opposite of this show, minus the screwing off part.
Right, yeah.
This show is overly sexual. It's overly stupid. It's
overly sexually referenced. None of us have any.
There we go.
So there you go. There's Cabaret Voltaire in the back, Simple Minds, Flesh for Lulu. I mean, these are all big alternative rock bands. Is that Charlie Sexton there on the back wall?
Some of these were in on the soundtrack, weren't they? I remember
Probably,
Yellow. Yeah. Yellow, of course, was on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yes, and English Pete. English Pete were in there.
Beat City. I remember that.
I mean, there was so, but I think is that Charlie. I want to say that's Charlie Sexton on the back wall. I could be wrong.
I don't know what he looks like.
And is that Brian Ferry there as well too? With is it Slave to Love? It is Brian Ferry. There you go.
There it is.
Yeah. So you got. I mean, these were all big alternative bands before alternative was even a thing.
But all those were probably in movies of the time soundtracks.
Is that a Killing Joke poster up on the left-hand corner? It just says joke.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's Killing Joke.
It probably is.
I mean, those are all bands that at that time were way, way under the radar. I mean, even Simple Minds wasn't what they would eventually become.
Yeah.
That's a cool kid's bedroom.
I'm sure this movie gave a boost to all those bands.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. But a lot of them were popular at the time anyway.
Yeah, a lot of college radio bands is what those are. Look at that. It's a little Fender. Is that a Fender bassman there? Look at the little Fender head right next to the lamp. That's
little amp,
and a little amp with a cab.
Look at all the set deck.
Yeah, he's got the old blaster, and of course the MIDI keyboard with the sampler where he sampled himself sneezing and coughing.
Oh, hello. Thanks for checking up on me. Not feeling very well right now. Goodbye. FERRIS.
Yeah, FERRIS. Yeah, Hobo Roadie says it looks like Charlie Sexton. I agree. I think it's Charlie Sexton when he had that Beat So Lonely song. Remember that? It was almost like an Elvis song.
Beat So Lonely sounds like what I do in the shower.
Why you got to be that guy?
Hey, it's not my choice. I'm just giving up on love.
But there's a great room that was way hip, too hip for anybody else in Hollywood. Like nobody in Hollywood was making some kid's bedroom look like that with all these incredibly cool bands like up on the wall. Ferris Bueller was certainly way ahead of his time for that era.
Who's the girl's face just above the phone? Almost looks like Yvonne DiCarlo.
It's Mia Sara.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, it's Mia Sara. It's Sloan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Sloan Peterson.
On my screen. Sloan's father, George Peterson.
George Peterson.
Well, we've had a bit of a death in the family, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid. Sad. Why does Ferris Bueller lives in Chicago? Why does he have a fucking life preserver on the wall? You
Why
see
does
that
he
right
have
there?
a clarinet? Why does he have a clarinet?
Never had one lesson.
I love the tidy whities hanging out the top drawer.
Yeah. Yeah, because strategically placed underwear.
Really, I've heard you've been touching children. Is that right?
Pardon me, but you are an asshole.
Pardon me, but you are a pedophile. I want to get my daughter slown away before you grab her for JJ.
He's a righteous dude.
Grace.
Again, a flawless movie. That movie has no flaws in it.
Yeah, there's no bad.
There are some movies that have that where that Goodfellas, Blues Brothers, Forrest Gump. There are certain movies that are just perfect from start to finish.
That's one of them.
And Ferris Bueller is one of them. One of the even the awful scene where they take the car, the Ferrari, and the two guys, and they're doing the jump. You know, the two get the when he turns, when the scuzzy guy turns and looks at him and goes, "Sir, I'm a professional."
The Star Wars opening at they're airborne. Dun, 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 dun.
I just love the "Sir, I'm a professional." That's his only line in the movie, and it's the best. And he couldn't be more of a dirtbag looking fuck. Such a good movie.
Oh, terrific, man. One of my literal personal favorites of all time. Johnny, have you seen it?
Because it's
of course.
Okay, I gotta ask. I
saw it in the theater.
Oh,
So I remember the very, very ending of him saying, "Hey, you know, the movie's over. You can leave."
over.
You know, I was
You're
at the
still
theater
here.
watching that.
It's over.
yeah. I saw a different version of it. He's like, "The movie's over. You can. What are you doing? Pull your pants up. Everyone's gone. Go home. Ew.
Ew.
You did that in your popcorn? Go wash your hands."
Yeah, great movie. And smartly never made a sequel.
Yeah, and they thought about it. They came very close to it. They thought about it.
Yeah.
They were going to do one years later.
Didn't they do a commercial as a sequel?
They did a bad TV show. It was interesting because they did a bad TV show. They also did a show based upon the concept of Ferris Bueller called Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which was actually pretty good.
It was good. And there was actually two shows like that on at the same time. There was Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and what was the show on the other channel with the similar premise?
I don't know, but there was a Ferris Bueller TV show, I believe.
Then that was it. Then that
Yeah.
was. I didn't think it was actually Ferris though. I thought Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which was
Parker Lewis Can't Lose was pretty good.
Parker was the better of the two, and there was
the first appearance of Ethan Suplee, who turned out who would be in Remember the Titans, and now I don't know if you ever pull up a picture of Ethan Suplee then and now. Oh my God, have you seen him recently?
I didn't
Ethan
look.
Suplee was the doughiest kid in Remember the Titans and in Parker Lewis Can't Lose. You look at him now, he's got like less than 1% body fat. He's jacked to the bejesus.
So I've got all his body fat. That's great. I'm probably about like 35% body fat.
Yeah, he went from being doughy. Yeah, look at him now.
Christ.
He looks like Zach Wilde now.
How the fuck is that him now?
Look at that picture of him getting out of the fucking truck. Ethan Suplee could eat a truck. He could stop a truck. Look at the size of his arm. It's ridiculous. He went from that guy to that guy.
By the way, I hope that Ferris Bueller isn't one of those movies that Hollywood is thinking of remaking. They're making Planes, Trains, and Automobiles now, which is just like they're already doing it. They're already doing it. And I think it's got like Will Smith and someone else. Or all I know is they do these fucking Hollywood remakes that are so worthless. They all suck. Every fucking one of them sucks dick harder than Tracy Lords. And I just know, like, I keep thinking of like Willy Wonka when they did it with Johnny Depp, and it's just like, holy fuck. It's just they constantly take these classic movies and they remake them, and they're like, oh, well, they liked it the first time. Certainly they'll like it the next time. It's like, you motherfuckers, stop fucking with my childhood. Stop it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why those things work. It's also like, by the way, I did buy the Lynch Mob Wicked Sensation Reimagined.
Oh, boy.
Interesting to hear different takes on those songs.
But not good.
But not, I mean, it's funny because I remember, I remember this, I remember this, I remember this. And then I go, this isn't as good as when it first came out in 1990.
If it was just like a covers album, like you've seen these albums that just like take all these different bands and just like say, hey, let's redo the greatest hits of Ace Frehley, the greatest hits of Whitesnake, and you hear other bands' takes on stuff like that. That's different. But like when you have Lynch Mob, the first Lynch Mob was such a good album on its own.
Yeah.
To kind of redo it into a different variation of it. I'm sorry, as much as I love George, but
he's already done it too. He had a reimagining that Lynch Mob, that double CD that he did with Robert Mason. He had already reimagined that music once. You know what I mean? So he's already done that trick. It's like, that's kind of how you know he's out of ideas.
Just why? I mean, what are they going to do? Like, a reimagined version of like the Mel Brooks movies next? And
don't.
Yeah. Let's do a version of Blazing Saddles, but it'll be with a white sheriff and a black town, and hilarity will ensue. Yeah, no, don't do that. Just
one of the greatest scenes in that movie could never be made again, and that's the whole when they're taking all the ruffians and they're all applying for the job: murder, arson, rape. Rape. You said rape twice. I like rape.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes in that movie that can't really be made these days.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, like that. Just that alone. I'm not even talking about the racism shit. I mean, the racism stuff, but the idea that like some of the jokes that are made in those movies, you can't make anymore. We've lost our ability to laugh. I own all of the entire television series, All in the Family, on principle. Not because I want to watch it, but because I want to own it, because we're never going to be able to get something like that.
I love those.
Yeah, we're never going to get something like that again. You'll never get an All in the Family or a Sanford and Son or even a little bit more recent, a Family Guy or Married with Children or any of those. They can't make those shows anymore.
Family Guy out of the gate started at much like this show. Family Guy started with a real low bar of like, oh, it's just that show. It's like, so you can keep that lineage going. All in the Family, they did a remake recently, just of like a tribute, live tribute episode, and it was like, what's the purpose? What are you doing? Stop with the fucking remakes. Just stop it. Come up with there's so many original screenplays. I have so many friends that are writing scripts left and right, good stuff that Hollywood will never see because they're like, we could go back to the well and redo Back to the Future.
This is why that happens.
Back to the Future.
This is why that happens, and I'll take it away from Hollywood for a second and put it into the industry that I work in, which is radio, and I work for a classic rock station, and classic rock stations around the country are traditionally the highest rated stations in their markets, and because they play proven hit music, and in 2020 and the way America is right now, we are not looking for anything new. We're looking for something comfortable and familiar,
nostalgic.
Not necessarily nostalgic, comfortable and familiar, something that is comforting, because there are so many other external stressors in the real world that nobody's looking to be challenged. They don't have time to be educated and challenged on new things. And so we get another John Wick movie, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. John Wick movies are 2 hours of time wasted, and there was nothing better to do with your time. They're great for what they are.
Good stuff. Check your brain at the door.
I never saw them.
Of course, yeah. but all of those shows and all of the things that we love about Seinfeld and we love about All in the Family and we love about Blazing Saddles and name whatever it is in the music world is Stairway to Heaven and Freebird and Light My Fire and Jump and
I like that
and Night Moves and
You've heard that
those,
song, Johnny Van Halen. You've heard that one.
but that's why all those bands like Five Finger Death Punch can't write a hit song because they're too busy having their biggest hit be a cover of a Bad Company song. Because Bad Company is familiar and because those songs are great songs. And so, just like with Hollywood, why bother coming up with a new idea when you could just have a new band play an old song that people already love? Well, can you hear that cat?
Is that what that is? Is that a cat?
Listen. I have two cats outside my window right now.
You sure you're not squeaking out your anus? Is that
no?
I had 2 chili dogs for lunch today. That's it's cats. That's what that noise is. It's cats. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go check on the cats and see if I have to give them food. I'll be right back. I'm actually gonna bounce out because I'm getting a digital stutter, audio stutter. So I'm gonna bounce out and log back in a second.
All right, while you do that, let me give a quick note because I should have done this probably at the top of the show and not brought us up and down and up and down. But I just want to give a quick shout out because you probably talked about it over the week, but Chadwick Boseman and I worked together on All My Children years ago, back in 2003. For those of you that follow me up on Facebook, I posted the clip of the actual episode, and just a super sad story because here was a guy in his first acting gig, which he didn't talk about a lot, but it was All My Children in 2003. I was a drug addict in a clinic, or playing a drug addict in a clinic, and he was basically a street punk. Like a gang member kind of thing that got injured. And we were both in this clinic scene. And I remember talking with him like during lunch or on the side of the set and, just meeting each other and stuff. And we were talking and he didn't like his role and he was grateful to have the work, but he didn't like his role because he thought that it perpetuated an anti-Black stereotype. It's like, obviously, here's your, first TV gig, your first big break, technically, on a major show. And he basically was saying, look, I'm happy to be here, but I don't know where they're going to go with this character, but I hate that I'm coming right out of the gate as basically a thug, a gang member kind of, thug, dirtbag, thief, criminal. I just don't like that stereotype starting out of the gate. And 2 weeks later, basically, after we were done filming, that portion of the show, he got fired. And he got fired for raising the objections against his character. And ironically, he was replaced. I'm having a brain fart here, but the actor who played Killmonger in Black Panther and played the same character. So they replaced him with him, ironically. But I think it was such a great thing that in his later roles, he got to play more role model characters like, Black Panther, King T'Challa, of course. There's a role model role. And in 42, Jackie Robinson and James Brown and Thurgood Marshall and all these basically aspiring role models for Black people rather than what he hated in that early role of a street thug. So I thought it was kind of cool. And, I just wanted to, give a shout out that just such a sad situation that we didn't know as he's doing all these Marvel movies, he's secretly getting treated for colon cancer. So again, tribute to him, tip of the hat to him. Great actor, sad tragedy. But the moral of the story, as adults, get screened, get checked. You know, early detection for cancer is a big deal. I didn't stay in touch with the guy, so I didn't know he was going through this. This was just someone, you know, fellow actor on a set at the time. You know, you talk, you eat lunch together, whatever. But like over the years, I watched his career, but I never knew, and the public never knew, that he had cancer. But message to our audience, because we love you, just get screened. Just get screened for early detection. He died of colon cancer. You know, again, he was diagnosed with it at 39. He died at age 43. Excuse me, super young. And the doctors tell you, oh, you know, get screened for colon cancer at age 50. Don't get screened at age 50. Get screened early. Just get screened early. If you're watching right now, just put it in your memory. I always talk about getting, you know, mammogram for breast cancer in October for the ladies. Well, everybody get checked for colon cancer. No joke. Just wanted to shout that out, and that's it.
Yeah. That's, and I saw the clip because you posted it, and then I put it in the chat. So if anybody after we're done here, check out.
Yeah, I'm a featured extra in that show. I had one line. It was hey dude or something like that to him when he, you know, pushed me or something like that. But hey man, something.
I heard you. You can hear you. I heard you.
Yeah, you can't miss my voice. It's booming, and I mean it's a line. But you know, but the point is, it's like you'll look in the background of that scene next to the main doctor character, and there's me with long hair and a flannel and looking all grungy and whatever. And it's a terrible quality copy, by the way. It's a fan sent it to me because I didn't have it handy, and someone actually did, so they sent it to me. So, you know, shout out to my buddy Kenny. You know, I mean, you could tell immediately the guy had immense talent. So I just want to say, because I care about our audience, just get screened. I'd rather hear that 100 people got their colon checked and, hey man, Kuda, that sucked, and one person say, you know, they found something. You know, I'd rather just know that our audience is safe. So that's all. There you go. So that's that. Johnny, bring up the Ozzy Osbourne photos, because this is fun. Ozzy Osbourne was photographed recently going out with Sharon, and I guess Ozzy had not colored his hair, which he usually does, and he almost looked unrecognizable. And Sharon, who usually is in a makeup chair covered in makeup and comes out with that red colored hair, she came out with like a light pink hair, and you wouldn't recognize them almost as a couple. Ozzy had long gray hair, looked like Gandalf almost. You should not pass. You see where we're talking? You have that photo. They went shopping in LA, and it was like mind-blowing. I'm looking at these photos, I'm like, who's that? And it's like, that's Ozzy. It's like, that's Ozzy? He looks like twice his age when he has no hair color. Check this out. Zoom in on that as much as you can. Can you bring that any closer? Can you zoom in on that? There we go. Look at that. Would you guys recognize that as Ozzy?
No.
Right? Mind-blowing, right? Like you'd never look at that photo and say, oh, look, there's Ozzy Osbourne. You just think it's another confused old man. Looks nothing like him, right? But that is Ozzy Osbourne. And do you have a photo of Sharon next to him?
Let's see. This is one of those websites that just... Let me find another one.
They're terrible.
Some of these sites are they're impossible to screen share because it's nothing but pop-ups. And
by the way, Mr. Hellstorm 74 says, Mancuda, being an actor, would you play the role of Ron Jeremy if it was offered to you in an act out? Absolutely. Of course I would. The Hedgehog?
Did you see he's in the news again?
Yeah, he's going through a lot of stuff. I think my microphone, which is named Ron Jeremy, is the only Ron Jeremy we're going to see for a while. He's had like another 20 charges added. I mean, they're saying Ron Jeremy might be in jail for like 250 years. I'm like, I think they'd clean out his body after that. I mean, he's got to be like in his 70s, I think. I would imagine. I mean, let's
early 70s.
Yeah, let's put it this way. If Ron is charged, and again, I can't say yay or nay. I mean, we've talked about this on the show before because both Paul and I have hung out with him. If he is charged and convicted of these allegations, rather, he will spend the rest of his life in jail. I mean, it's no joke. I don't know what's true and what's not, but that when I saw in the news the other day, yeah, Ron Jeremy facing 250 years in prison. It's like, so parole in 220? Yeah, he's in trouble. But anyway, there's Ozzy Osbourne. You know what, Johnny? Bring up the photo of Vince Neil, since we're playing with photographs right now. Vince Neil just had a photograph the other day taken with his father. His father's 83, and Vince has gone back and forth in weight. Obviously, before the show, before the stadium tour, he was contractually obligated to lose like 40 something pounds because he had really put on weight, and he was pissed about that. And then it turned out he lost weight, but then the stadium tour is canceled and he put it back on. So he's been yo-yoing in weight. But this photo that just came out recently of Vince and his father and his girlfriend, you'd look at Vince and you'd say, hey, you know what? He's really been staying in shape lately. Again, knowing that the stadium tour is not going to go on for a while, at least a year. Hopefully that's it, but we'll see. But knowing that it's not going to go on for a while, Vince has been staying in pretty solid shape. And here's Vince with his father and his girlfriend. Vince is the one sitting down in the middle. And
yeah, he looks good.
He looks good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, this is the tough part about
Vince
being
his girlfriend. Oh, there's Vince.
The tough part about being one of those bands, we all get old, and it's tough to be, tough to be 60 years old and still out there singing about fucking chicks, man. It's so cool.
Well, with that said, Johnny, zoom a little down into that cleavage, because his wife is hot. She's a good looking girl.
I get it, but the point is, Motley Crue in their 60s on stage singing, Wild Side and All in the Name of and Looks That Kill and stuff like that. It doesn't age well. This music doesn't age well. It just doesn't. It's
17.
She's got all her teeth. And you believe you me, she could walk without a walker. She knows how to dress herself. To dress herself.
Shout! I can't hear you. Shout! What are you shouting for? I can hear you fine. Everything is fine. You're shouting.
Shout at the attendant.
Shout at the kids on the lawn.
Consider that bastard dead. The one on the bed next to me. He's dead. He died in his sleep last night.
Oh,
consider that bastard dead. 10 seconds to love. That's all I can last these days. And I've got to go to sleep. I'm very tired. I don't know, for whatever reason, all these songs have become by old Jewish men.
Swallow my blue pill. I'm going to give you all my love. Oh, jeez. Shout at the devil dogs.
I'm bulimic and my heart is stone.
I had to jog a little bit to get up my bone. Oh, gee.
Take me home.
Where do I live? My home, sweet home. It's somewhere around here. I know it's here.
Don't know the way. Don't know the way to the old folks home. Good night. Good night.
Take a ride on the mild side.
You know, I've got dementia. And my house is cold.
I had to turn down the AC.
Because I'm getting really old. By the way, we're making all these jokes, and there's a Rolling Stones fucking thing right next to the margin there. Speaking of a band, by the way, who in their 70s brought it. I saw the last tour when they came through Phoenix. They were outstanding. The Rolling Stones were fucking awesome. So don't tell me that 71-year-old Gene Simmons is over the hill, or that the Rolling Stones can't do it anymore. Or, well, okay, David Lee Roth is a different situation.
Because I'm alive. Don't bury me. I'm alive. Here, look, I blinked because I'm alive. Even though the monitor went flat, I'm alive.
Wow. Did you know that, John?
What is this now?
We are
Just
literally
basic.
the saints of Los Angeles. We died and gone to heaven.
Oh, Gene, is this true, Gene?
Well, there's a very good chance I had to shoot my love gun off in a private area.
You know, Gene likes to pee where he always is. You know, he doesn't need to go to a bathroom. He just unreels that hose of his and just lets it go for the fans.
I couldn't make it to the ladies' room.
How many of y'all there in the audience have to pee?
Didn't make it to the ladies' room. You're just lucky. I didn't have to poo.
He means number 2. By the way, this making fun of the elderly and bowel movements brought to you by Bang Energy Drink. Bang Energy Drink, definitely not for those with weak hearts like the elderly. Bang Energy Drink.
And Swiss
And
Picks.
Swiss
It's
Picks.
about fucking time Neanderthal got some. Swiss Picks.
Hey.
It's about time.
Oh, boy.
Friends.
He's another doctor I go to. I keep going all week. He's another doctor I go to.
Gotta see the doctor. I don't feel good.
That one came out of my nose.
You're welcome. This Bang Energy Drink snarf.
Yeah, brought to you by Snot by Bang Energy Drink and Swiss Picks. Swiss Picks jam them right in and they stay. Wow.
Gotta see the doctor. I don't feel good. Hope he can get me in. I'm not right.
Do I need an appointment?
Excuse me.
I shave my balls, all those curls. They keep growing in like a big old bush. Curls. Oh, jeez. Anyway, Vince looks great for 100. No, he looks good. He looks good. Seriously, he looks good. Jesus Christ.
That was random.
Yeah. Speaking of Gene Simmons, though, with his public urination situation, I got to tell a story. I keep forgetting to tell this story.
Steve Carmichael with a home run. You have an appointment, but your friends can't come.
Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael. Yeah.
Instead of tattoos and tequila, it's Geritol and
Jello.
Oh, Motley Crue.
Vince Neil Horton. He's a Horton.
Am I in the boys' room? Is this the boys' room? looking at the stall and listening for screams, looking in my pants. Oh boy, I've lost my cream.
Now I'm too old to make love. Too old to make love.
Too old to make love. Too old to make love.
You say my cock is like ramen soup.
Ew.
Ew.
Oh, jeez.
Why won't Popcorn the Band tour? We've got plenty of material.
Yeah, we really should. We really should. We'll be like Steel Panther. We'll get into parody songs. Oh man, we do want to see Motley Crue on the road.
Let's Stock Harem. Hope I'm still alive. Still alive, wires. I'm still alive. Thanks to this wire.
Oh man. I
Come
shout,
on, baby. I need CPR. Just give me that wire.
gonna rub the paddles and clear everyone out until I shout. And yes, Ben Tom, fuck JoJo the chimp. Thank you.
Yes, good point. Shout at the dribble. Come on. Shout. Shout. Shout at the dribble. Ugh.
I like when she wipes my mouth. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Oh boy.
So that was fun.
You're all I need, Social Security check. And when I spend you on eBay, I'm always buying black. Do I really need this? I'm spending. Jesus.
Oh, here I come. My pants are wet. Get ready to take them off. I haven't pooped in them yet. 10 seconds to dung. 10 seconds to dung. Get some paper.
Pull my
I'm about
finger.
to poop.
Pull my finger. That's what I tell my grandson. Lenny Lou said Mary's on her knees praying.
10 seconds to live. I've got 10 seconds to live. Primal scream. Ow! My back is bowing out. Holy shit. 10 seconds to live.
Oh Jesus! Now I'm almost out of songs. I'm like, what else? What else did Motley Crue write? We can make fun of. Let's see.
All good.
Let's see. Motley Crue songs. I know.
Oh, you actually Googling this shit?
I'm actually Googling just to see like what obscure tracks I've missed or something.
Well, I mean, we could do a Knock 'em Dead Kid one.
Give me head, kid. I'll give you $20. Give me head. Come on, it's not that close. I'm so afraid of dying, like any minute now. We are the greatest generation. Oh boy.
Ma'am, don't go away mad. Ma'am, I'll go away.
Can I get a piece of your brisket? Just a taste.
Oh my gosh. Hey Max.
My blurry eyes. Oh.
Blurry eyes. Who?
I'm coming in for another cataract. All right. So there's that.
Yeah. Because it's the same old dinner at the buffet. There's nothing new that's come over here. Is it 4:15? Is it discount?
Already?
Oh boy. I'm just looking if there's any obvious ones we missed. Anarchy in the old age home.
Can't raise my hands to rock. Rock. Can't raise my hands to rock.
Without you, I can't bathe myself. I'm lucky to even make it to the bathroom, but with you at my side, I don't shit my bed. Oh boy!
It's the same old reservation. We're here at 4:15, right? You gotta let us in already. Again, for the purposes of this impression, all Motley Crue songs will be done by old Yiddish men.
Oh yeah, right. It's Motley Crue. Motley Crue.
Yes, that's not a pentagram; it's a menorah.
It's the same old situation. Oh. Motley Crue. So anyway, I wanted to tell this story for a while, and since we were talking about Gene Simmons earlier, there was a time that I was with my ex-girlfriend, and it turned out her son started driving, and he was just chomping at the bit for a car, and insisted that his mom buy him a car. And we're like, well, you got to get a job and earn some money, and you got to buy your own car. Oh, my friends got cars and their parents got cars. And, so we're thinking like, we don't, kids sounding spoiled and stuff. We don't want them to be like that. So what can we do? He's insisting you buy him a car. What can we buy him that'll make him want to go to work and buy his own car? Because I know when I got a car, my father made me buy it. He made me buy the family car. It was an absolute rusted through shit box with like the floorboards literally rusted out. So like I'm basically keeping my foot on the pedal just so it doesn't go onto the street, because I'm looking at blacktop as I'm driving. I'm like, there's literally holes rust in the floor. So I'm thinking, what shit box can we buy him? And I happened to discover this car on Craigslist, and I sent Johnny photos, and this is real. This is absolutely real. And we almost bought it for him to make him learn a lesson that nothing in life is free. So this is, Johnny, show the 3/4 view one, because that's probably the easiest one to see. It's a modified Volkswagen Beetle that was given away during a radio giveaway, and there it is there, and it's the Gene Mobile. It's literally a modified Volkswagen Beetle that has a giant Gene Simmons head and face and tongue molded into the metal. It's all fiberglass, and
I wish that was for sale right now. I would buy that.
I would buy that in a second. I almost was tempted to buy it myself, and my girlfriend's like, "What are you going to do with that?" I'm like, "Everything. I'm going to drive all over the place." She's like, "I don't want to drive in a giant tongue." But like, it had like real carpet for hair. If you look, roll it down a little bit, Johnny. Scroll
just
it down
like
a little
Gene.
bit.
Yeah, just like Gene.
Yeah, just like Gene. Scroll down a little bit, Johnny.
It's funny because I went and looked at a Kiss pinball
machine.
Look at the top.
Today, look at the top.
I would rather own that than a Kiss pinball machine.
How cool is that thing? That's a giant
great.
mop. It's like from the back, it could be the Snuffleupagus, but it's like a giant thing of hair. And can you imagine, like, you add on some James Bond accoutrements so it spits fire out from under the car or something?
That thing's great. I think it's awesome.
Spits blood as an oil slick. And it was $5,000. And I was like so tempted just to buy it, and of course he's like, no, but I was like, let's buy it anyway. let's buy it anyway. She's like, it's $5,000 for something you're never going to use. I'm like, no, I'm going to use that. You know, it's
I would drive that all over Phoenix.
Yeah, this is a big regret in my life that I did not buy this Gene Mobile. Apparently, it was a radio giveaway from some radio station named the Fox. And I wish I knew where this car was now. If you guys out there know where this car is, I'm dying just to see. We'll put the Johnny Beane logo on the side. There's the door. It was off it.
What a piece of shit. It's awesome.
Isn't that the best car on the now? See, Paul and I would be so thrilled to get that as the first car. Oh my God! Yeah, can you give me a ride to school? Yeah, just sit on the tongue and hang on.
As your first car, that is the greatest first car you could ever ask for.
Yeah, if you drove to school in that thing, I mean, it would be like you'd be getting so much pussy. As a junior in high school.
That thing is great.
Yeah,
it's
that's
awful.
Incredible.
It's great.
It's that good. I wish to God I had bought that. The Gene Mobile. Oh my God, is that amazing? Look at that thing. Imagine the wipers going off and cleaning Gene's teeth.
Yep.
I mean, how great is it? You got the nostrils.
Yeah, that thing is great.
Yeah, I just love that. You show up at the drive-through in that. It's just like.
So that actually runs?
The only problem with that is that's a pain in the ass to park, because in any parking garage, you got to see what the ground clearance is, the height clearance is on that thing.
I don't know.
If it's more than like 6'10", you're fucked. You can't park in any garage.
No. I think it's about as big as like a Cadillac Escalade height-wise.
We'll see. I mean, that's the thing. I think it's hilarious. You got to wonder if that thing could be inspected, or if they would say that, it's not safe.
Excuse me. It was on the road.
Bless you.
Thank you. It was on the road at some point. So, I mean, it's a roadworthy car. I mean, listen, I would love to have that thing on the highway and just cranking out God of Thunder as I'm driving by people, the hair whipping around and.
That is funny.
They call me Dr. Love. That is great. Taking in the car wash.
Make believe, Mr. Make Believe, you are inside me.
It's in Vegas. Is that where it is?
What?
It's in Vegas now.
The car.
Is it in Vegas now?
I found another post of it. This is from 2015.
It might be around the right time. How much was it? Was it like $5,000?
Oh, I don't know.
Or do they go up or down in price?
A picture of it in Vegas.
Oh, it's in front of the Kiss Cafe. Yeah.
Oh, send me that photo. Maybe that's where maybe that's who bought it. Maybe that's who bought it.
It was a Kiss Mini Golf. Is that the Kiss Mini Golf place?
Vegas.
Rock and Brews Cafe or whatever.
It doesn't say where it is.
Look at that thing. Oh, that's cool. Motherfucker, they must have bought it. They must have bought it right there. That's the car.
Possible.
Yeah. I'm glad it's intact. That's the big thing. I'm glad somebody rescued that thing. Because holy hell, that thing's cool.
Super dumb.
That's as good as it gets.
Yep.
Oh, I just love that.
I couldn't be seen in that. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't not want to be seen in that.
Yeah, I'd have like.
I would almost paint my face. I would paint my face like Vinnie Vincent, and then drive around in it.
Yeah, listen. For those of you that are following Vinnie Vincent, his concert schedules are going to go. All his appearances are going to be just as they would without the virus. So he's not going to show up to any of those.
Yep, he won't be there.
So Gene, how much is that car to make an appearance?
Well, for a nominal fee, I'd be willing to take the car out and lick it.
I remember one of the VIP packages let you. It was something like you can kiss Gene's pinky ring or something.
Oh, Jesus.
At one point, or someone offered him, like, asked, can I kiss your pinky ring? And he like put a price on it. It's like
when he gave us that when he gave us the painting, the David Garibaldi painting that he did in Glendale when they came through town the last final tour. I made sure to thank him. I was like, dude, Gene, I just want to say thank you for this. This is a great thing. And his, in his smug way, happy to do it. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, it's the most benevolent thing. I'm happy to do it. David Garibaldi is the guy that's painting this thing and losing all this money. Cause I'm sure he could, he could say auction those things off for whatever he want, but the band gave it to us to auction off for a charity called the Military Assistance Mission, which helps basically put ends together for families of deployed veterans. So like when somebody goes over to the sandbox to fight, or they go to another part of the country, the family's left home here. And I'm not sure you understand this, but the military doesn't really pay all that well. So sometimes they have a hard time paying their electric bill, or a hard time making ends meet. So the Military Assistance Mission steps in and pays the person's rent or stuff, does all this stuff. So Gene and the guys in KISS gave us the painting that Garibaldi did like 15 minutes before they went on stage to auction off. I think we got about $8 or $9 grand for it, which was kind of neat.
Cool.
Would you guys in the chat drive the Gene Mobile? I just want to see if it's just me and Paul, because I really regret not buying this car. Robot Master Switch says it needs a Barber Papa tongue makeover. How cool would that be?
Yeah, you put the Barber Papa tongue on it.
That'd be awesome. Seriously, how many guys and girls in the chat would drive this Gene Simmons mobile?
Hell yeah.
This thing is so badass. I love this thing. All right, so the three of us would all drive it. Johnny, you're in, right?
Oh yeah.
Johnny would drive it. Paul would drive it. I would drive it. Who else in the chat would drive this thing? I just want a yes,
Jimmy
no.
Biter. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love the screen name, Jimmy Biter.
Robot Master Switch says I'd rock the shit out of that car.
Oh no, that's the best.
The job they did on that. Could you imagine? I mean, that was a radio contest, or radio promotion car, something like that.
I almost would want to make one of the teeth gold.
Why?
Just for the hell of it, just to have one of the teeth be gold.
Just have Gene call you up.
I want to say I have a very perfect mouth.
Paul will be. Go ahead.
I don't appreciate you making fun of my dental situation.
Paul will be talking to that car for 15 minutes before he realizes it's not the real Gene.
Yeah.
I saw the mouth was open, so I but no good ideas were coming out of it. So I just assumed it was just Gene trying to act like he's participating in the band, but without really saying anything.
I figured Gene just came back from shooting Runaway 2.
Tom Selleck drove up with him in that. Wants to take my house away. He asked if I knew about a reverse mortgage.
He said, this isn't his first rodeo. I said, giddy up. I'll ride him, cowboy. Allegedly.
This is a place that Peter can sleep in because he's got nowhere else to go right now. Jesus Rapes Me says, I want to see Johnny Beane driving that car with his wife yelling at him in the passenger seat.
Yes, he's gonna take that car down to the beach to look at the luminescent algae. And his wife will yell at him.
Imagine you're a cop and you pull that over. There it is. What's it say on the door now?
I bet it's the Rock and Brew. I bet it's the golf club, the mini golf.
Yeah, that's golf.
Golf.
Yeah.
All right, so that's
it's the KISS mini golf place that they opened in Vegas.
Oh man, how cool is that they bought that?
Yeah, that thing's great.
Yeah, it was for sale here in LA. It was
That's awful. There it is on the road.
Imagine bird shit in it. Bird shit on it, and you gotta comb it out of Gene's hair.
It's good to see they shop at Steinmart.
Look how great that is. They did a nice job of refurbing it, by the way. Adding the KISS logo on it.
So the Fox, my guess, that Fox station, the classic rock station, that's up in the Bay Area.
KISS theme bug. Lick your driveway. Love it. Headstock Harem says that car would cause so many accidents, but they'd be very handsome looking accidents. Handsome, powerful accidents. Nice. Oh, look, it has the Fox logo still on the other door. That's cool.
Yeah, they usually make them take those logos off and stuff after you win them because it's a liability thing. Let's say that car, the guy that wins the car gets drunk, gets into a car accident, and kind of like what happened with the Station nightclub fire. The radio station that sponsored the show that night was named in the lawsuit. They had nothing to do with it, but because one of their DJs was there, who, by the way, incidentally died in that fire, they got named in the lawsuit along with the club owner and stuff like that. So they always take the logo off of those radio contest cars. It looks cool when they're giving it away, but they immediately have to take the decal and shit off of it when they give it to somebody.
Johnny, see if there's a car that has an ass on the bumper so that Gene could just pull up and like tongue its anus. Can you imagine that as an accident?
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Oh, so it looks like it's on display, like inside.
There you go. Jesus. Just look at that beautiful thing. I could have owned that. What was I thinking? That was a classic. Jesus. Look at that thing. A thing of beauty.
I would be all right with owning that.
I'd get rid of all my cars just for that one. Love that thing.
So, like I said, I was looking at a KISS pinball machine earlier today. The guy wants too much money for it, but I would have gladly not bought that KISS pinball machine and bought that car instead.
How much for the pinball machine? Like four grand?
He wants $5,000 for it, but
those aren't cheap.
The back glass is in great shape. Certain things are in great shape. There's the play field is worn. The main pop bumpers, the lights aren't working. So I'm guessing there's something wrong with that board. You know what I mean? And when you start talking about, motherboards and shit like that.
I mean, I have a guy that can fix that. The guy that I have an arcade in my house, and the guy that services the arcade games in my house, he does all the old pinball machines. I mean, he could, do whatever you want on that.
Yeah, but for $5,000, it's going to take probably another 1,200 to 1,500 to get it the way I want it. And so I'm not for $5,000. I want it in good shape.
It'd be great if we customized a Volkswagen Beetle with Wilfred Brimley's face on it.
Oh, that'd be so good.
The big glasses and the mustache into the fenders, and the vanity plate that says "Beat us."
Yes.
Look at that, man. Those old KISS pinball machines are fucking terrific.
No, it's funny. I went and played it. I played it today. It's not a great playing game. It's very basic. The sound effects are very basic. 1978 is when it came out. So it's not like pinball today. The thing about it is it's a great piece of nostalgic history, and the back glass on it is outstanding. I mean, it's a work of art.
Yeah,
the
really.
Back glass alone is worth, thousands.
You could buy the back glass at a collector convention and frame it.
Yeah, and I may do that. I may do that at some point. There's the German one on the left there where they couldn't use the Luftwaffe SS.
How many of you Nazis out there want to own a pinball machine? Y'all know we're Jewish, right?
I would love to. I would consider buying it if he comes down in price. I don't know that I would pay what he's asking for it because the play field is a little worn. Like I said, there's a little ball groove in the top. You know what I'm talking about. You got to wax the thing.
I know these
finish. Yeah, got to do some finish work on it. But the pop bumpers on it, they're not lit up and they're not reacting. I mean, they pop when the ball hits it, but there's no light reaction on it. So that to me sounds like there's a circuit board that needs to be replaced. Nothing has been replaced on this machine. It's original from 1978. I mean, the flippers are tired. I mean, nothing has been touched. It's all completely original. And that's the way the guy wanted it, is completely original. But if I buy it, I want to make it look great.
The good thing is, though, that shares a lot of parts with a lot of other Bally machines.
Right.
So, like, you could take like a circuit board from Fireball and just, take parts of it or whatever. Like I said, I have a guy that services these constantly. If you do get it, just let me know, because he'll help out.
Well, if it comes down to if he comes down a little bit, I may still buy it, but I'm not paying what he wants for it now.
No, that's a lot for that one, man. I've seen
anywhere from 3 to 4K is expected now, given the rarity, not the rarity, but the vintage of the machine and the fact that the band is going away. The price is up right now. They're on their,
He's charging crazy prices.
Yeah.
By the way, someone asked, is that tongue on the car realistic size to Gene's tongue? Actually, the car tongue is a little smaller than Gene's actual pull out like a fire hose. Gene's tongue is like a fire hose. You gotta kind of reel it back in. That's a good looking machine, though, man. You need that.
Yeah, I know.
Every one of us needs a Kiss pinball.
I know.
Machine.
Yeah, that's the reason. I love pinball, and I could have bought a High Speed, which is another great pinball game. But I could have bought that one here locally for relatively cheap money. But it's not a matter of just having a pinball machine. It's about having the pinball machine you want. And that's like the one.
That's pure Kissery. That's pure old school Kissery. I mean, that's a cool ass thing to have, a Kiss pinball machine.
They made a new one in like 2015 or so, but it's not the same. It's you want the one that you want.
Tommy Thayer and no, I think it does, right? Johnny, look up the newer Kiss pinball machine. I think it has the makeup with Tommy Thayer as Ace.
No, I think I passed by it. Right here.
There's a newer one.
Yeah, that one has Ace. That has Ace on it, though.
But it's not Ace. Is it Ace or is it Tommy as Ace?
It looks like it looks like the 1970, 78 solo albums, which I think Gene owns the artwork for.
Well, okay.
And look, those guys still,
Gene sold some of the original artwork. He sold the artwork to the cover of Love Gun and the cover to Unmasked back at the Kiss auction back in 2000. Can't believe he sold the Love Gun painting. My God, that thing's a masterpiece.
We have 2 AC/DC pinball machines at the radio station I work at. One of them's right outside my office. It's great. Get off the air, play a couple of rounds of pinball before I leave.
Oh, to play the music?
Cool. Oh, yeah.
You bet!
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
If I had a bigger house, I would get more machines. I really would.
Yeah, I want original stand-up stuff. I don't want to go buy the one-up arcade crap that you can get at Walmart. You know what I mean? I did see a Golden Tee that I was looking at. I'm like, I'm not paying $400 for that.
You have to really like golf to go for that one.
Yep. That's the AC/DC pinball we have at work.
Zoom in on that one, Johnny. Let's see.
The one on the right. Yeah, that one.
What year was that made?
A couple of years ago.
That's badass.
No, it's a good game. It's a fun game. That's the second one there. There's the AC/DC Pro is the second one.
Did they make an Alice Cooper? Did they make an Alice Cooper?
I don't know.
I would love to see an Alice Cooper pinball machine.
Yeah, that one there that you're looking at now in the middle, that's the AC/DC Pro.
Ooh, or an Iron Maiden one. How about that?
They do have Iron Maiden ones.
Really?
Yes, but they're like $10,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's several Iron Maiden ones. There's like a Power Slave one.
Oh,
I think there's an Aces High one. They make 2 or 3 of those.
There go the sirens that warn of the pinball machine.
That's the first song I ever had to play live. Talk about fucking
Aces High.
Yeah. When I was my first show at Natick High School in Natick, Massachusetts, we opened with Aces High.
Nice.
It was a tough one.
I'm sure that would be a teaching crowd pleaser.
It was actually in Natick, Massachusetts. It was like an Iron Maiden stronghold. So we thought, let's just open with something they're all going to love.
Well, that is a winner. Let's see.
I have audio of it somewhere.
coming up on our show and tell guitar time. So I just want to announce things that we will be talking about later in the show. Let's see. We'll be talking about Satchel, CC DeVille, Sebastian Bach, Michael Sweet, D. Snyder, Todd Latore of Queensryche, Don Dokken, Brett Michaels, and Kingdom Come has some very interesting news as well. So that's coming up after our show and tell guitar, which I'm going to break out right now, boys and girls. Go ahead, Paul. You want to say something?
Oh no, I'm gonna when you get isolated, I'm gonna bounce out and jump back in because I'm still having audio problems. I don't know if you guys are hearing it.
I hear clicking.
Yeah, I got the.
I'm hearing it now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bounce out and reboot my whole system while you're doing the show and tell.
Okay. In the meantime, I gave a clue earlier. I gave a couple of clues earlier. Today's show and tell guitar, which is brought to you, of course, by Bang Energy Drink and, of course, Swiss Picks. The picks with holes in them that give you grip. I can't let go of that damn thing. Won't get off. It's great. Yeah. Swiss Picks Bang Energy Drink. Thank you. Today's show and tell guitar, I gave the clues that it was a band or bands that we discussed last week. In fact, I discussed the player and that I had the guitar. So if you watched last week, you might remember that. Hopefully none of you cheated and went back to watch last week's episode yet, but do it after the show. I also gave the clue that this is a clue. Believe it or not, as much as I do it in real life and on the show, this is a clue.
Oh, wrong one.
No, that load got some distance. Load got some distance. So anyone in the chat want to take a stab at whose guitar this is and what guitar it is?
I have no idea.
No?
I can't even remember yesterday.
Yeah, I can't even remember this. The rest of the show we did earlier. So halfway through the show, I don't even remember what we did 2 hours. Okay. Anyway, the bands we talked about last week that I was bringing up were, let's see. I brought up Horror Planet, Ludacris, Scatterbrain, and Stone Deep. All of those were bands that this guitarist belonged to. Anyone remember? Usually from Ludacris and Scatterbrain. Anybody? Bueller. Okay. The guitarist is Glenn Cummings. See what I did there? Glenn Cummings started with this guitar in Horror Planet, had it in his Ludacris days, had it in Scatterbrain, and I don't know if he had it in Stone Deep, but on the case, it says Horror Planet and Ludacris. So let's see. I'll see if I can show this real quick. On the case, there's a backstage pass for Ludacris, and on the side, it's stenciled Horror Planet and Glenn written on the case. So some of you guys might recognize this. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that thing.
Oh, wow.
Hey now, there's the other Bumblebee.
Nice thumbnail, too.
Great thumbnail, right? Mark that. Okay, boys and girls, this is a San Dimas Charvel. This is about 1980. This one's probably about 82. Yeah, this would be about 1982. Basically a yellow and black target. This guitar has been through some serious paces. This thing has a real Floyd Rose on it, non-recessed trem. I forgot exactly what it's a Duncan pickup. It's an old Duncan pickup. I forgot which one though. Sort of like a PAF kind of thing. It's got a booster on it, one volume, one hum. I love this kind of layout like that. Old San Dimas Charvels, we've talked about on the show a bunch of times before. These were basically the original Super Strats. These things had incredible necks, thin D-shape maple neck. This particular one, let's see, 12, 15, 17, 19, 21, the 21 fret, which is what the early Charvels started with. Strat head, which was put to stop right about late 1983. Fender started suing them for using the old Fender style headstock, but they used that up until then. Locking Fender, locking Floyd Rose, maple, dirty, nice dirty maple. Look at how nice and dirty that is. That got a lot of fun play wear. And again, Glenn had this guitar originally in Horror Planet, took it to Ludacris, took it to Scatterbrain during the Scamboogery days, and I'm not sure if he had it after that, but all documented up till at least that point. Black on the back, because I'm back in black. And I do have the back plate. I didn't think to put it on today, but I was in there fairly recently. And again, the San Dimas Charvel is one of the ways to tell the original necks. Number one, they have a skunk stripe of rosewood on the back. That's number one. So there are a lot of fakes out there. And number two, if you look, the 12th fret, the markers are really, really close together. You notice how close they are more than normal? Normally, they're a little more spread apart. These guys are a little closer together on original San Dimas Charvels. This particular one is number 1535. Look at the Charvel neck plate, these famous neck plates. Did these for a couple of years. Black strap locks, which sometimes were brass, sometimes silver, sometimes black. You notice the original crown head tuners on there. Which are,
Rob Johnson just woke up.
Yeah, Rob suddenly got a tingle in his pants right now. Woo! Let's see, regular block. Not much else to it. Again, just a celebrity guitar that's been going through a lot of paces. This has actually been through, again, all those bands that he was in, and there are photos of him playing it, whatnot. And just the yellow and black gives that real shock effect, sort of like Eddie's Bumblebee. Just a really nice looking guitar. And again, I can't emphasize how great and fast these necks are. The original San Dimas Charvel necks are the original hot rodded Super Strat necks. They're thin, they're fast, and my personal favorite, when they're dirty maple and they get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, they get broken in more, and they're just smooth and fast and
dirty neck.
Play dirty. Yeah, and that's basically the gist of it. It's the original Charvel logo, shaped like a little guitar. If you look up Glenn Cummings just for images, you'll see bunches of images of him with this guitar over the years. Let's see. Questions in the chat about it. Metal Soda says, hurts my eyes. Yeah, no, I love this type of stuff. I mean, I love celebrity guitars of guitars I like the players of, but I also like guitars that, again, I won't buy a guitar that I won't play. And this is that type of flashy, old school Charvel graphic that suits my personal tastes, obviously. And, you know, the type of guitar style I like to play. Like, I don't play Explorers, for instance. It's just not comfortable on me. I'm a sit-down player. It's not a comfortable shape. Strats, of course, always a personal favorite, you know, and I like other unique shapes like, you know, BC Rich Mockingbirds and Bitches and Iron Birds and stuff like that. But Super Strats, you cannot beat a Sandy Charvel. These are the original guys that, you know, Warren DeMartini played these, and Jakey Lee and George Lynch. I mean, Eddie, you know, I mean, all these guys, you know, they had Sandy Charvels at one point. So that's today's show and tell guitar, boys and girls. Glenn Cummings, Sandy Charvel, 1982, used during his early days of Horror Planet, Ludacris, Scatterbrain, and later on, I'm not sure, but possibly his Stone Deep days. I don't know, because I got it later than that. But hope you guys and gals enjoy that show and tell guitar today. Yeah, it's like, you know, if you took Eddie's Bumblebee and arranged the stripes all in a row and crisscrossed them, you have that nice target illusion. Ooh. So if you like this, by the way, please leave a thumbs up on the video, like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, support the channel with a like, please. Just
and love.
Yeah, and love. Just because you enjoy the channel, and it's better than all the politics and craziness going on in the world right now. Come here for a couple hours of laughs and metal talk.
And hugs.
More metal talk than laughs, though. Really.
Yeah, definitely, because we suck.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Where is Black Salami when we need him?
Yeah.
You guys suck. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Have you watched the show before? Yeah, of course we suck. Yeah, so that's today's show and tell guitar.
Whoa.
Neat, right, Paul?
It is a cool guitar.
Let's get
I love the old Charvels.
Oh, Sandy Charvels is terrific, man. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. Hit the like button. Let's see. Let's talk about some music news. This is kind of a fun story. Well, let's see. Which one do I want to get to first? Because we got a bunch. We were talking about Motley Crue earlier. Apparently, Nikki Sixx sold the publishing catalog. That was actually told to me just before we got on the air. So let's see what he got for it. I'm curious, because I should have bought that. I would have traded a couple of guitars.
That makes you buy curious.
Yeah, right.
Just saying.
You should have bought that and the car.
And the car. I miss opportunities like everything. It's like women walk down the street and whisper at me, "Want a blowjob?" Huh? What'd you say? Oh, I missed it. You know, I miss things all the time. You know, cars drive by with for sale signs. Just $5 for this Ferrari, Mancuda. I want to get tacos, but the car. Never mind.
It's funny though. I do this all the time. If it's a guitar I want and they want, you know, big money for it, I'm like, all right, I'll do that. I'll buy it because I really want the guitar. But if I find myself in like Amoeba Records and I pick up like, I don't know, like a Firehouse record out of the 50 cent bin, I'm like, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Like I get real paranoid about spending money on stuff. The little things like a nickel diamond, but if it's a guitar, like, well, how much do they want for that? Sure, no problem. Don't even think twice about it.
Yeah, guitars are a different story because they're pulling at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
If your dick is suddenly swelling with blood, you're like, I gotta have that Jackson. I gotta get it. That Marshall amp. Oh my God, my balls. Yeah. So what did they get, Johnny? So they sold. Let's see. Motley Crue's Nikki Sixx sells song catalog to Hypnosis. 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 Gnosis. It's owned by Gnu's, like Gary Gnu.
We know everybody's watching the show right now, and they're getting very sleepy.
They're looking at the guitar. It's like, oh, you will sell us your catalog of songs. Oh, hit like and subscribe. Oh, send my CRUE all sorts of fun gifts. Oh,
imagine wearing that like ZZ Top style and spinning it in front of you.
Hypnosis.
Yeah,
yeah, I love it. See, that's a car. That's a car. When you buy the car, it comes with these 3 immortal ghost women in the car. You buy the Eliminator car, and you can fly into space. That's a car to get. Oh my God, did I rub one out to those women in the ZZ Top car? I'm not even just talking years ago. I'm talking this morning.
Yeah. Look, what do you think I did when I signed off? Hypnosis is responsible for this.
Is that an anal toy? What is that?
That is the object
of my desire
from Led Zeppelin's Presence album, released in 1976.
Is that a table leg?
It's a promotional item. This is the obelisk that you see on the album cover. They made 1,000 of these, and I happen to have number. I'm not going to tell you what number it is, so that people can't bootleg it.
You bought that instead of the Gene Mobile or the pinball machine. It's like coming home with magic beans instead of the cow.
The thing about this, and it's an original from 1976, which is why it's all beat up and shit. They only made 1,000 of these, and I bought it in out of a record store in New Orleans called Magic Bus.
Smell it. Tell me what it smells like. Fresh vagina.
Like, smells like rectal lint.
70s, 80s.
So the guys that owned Magic Bus were 2 gay Englishmen named Lippy and Chris. And this was, I don't know where it came from, but they had it in their glass case, behind the counter. And I had a good night at the casino in Biloxi, and I saw it in the glass case. I said, "How much do you want for that?" And they were just like, "Well, we don't really want to sell it." I said, "How much would you?" And they kind of goofed with me and said, "Well, they said a figure," which was nowhere near as much as I thought they were going to ask for it. So I peeled off the money and got it from them. Little did I know, 2 weeks later, when I walked in there, Lippy says to me, he goes, "Hey, too bad you didn't stick around and didn't wait another week to buy that object." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because Jimmy Page came in a couple of days later, and we would have had him sign it for you." I said, "Well, you wouldn't have given it to me for the price you gave it to me." He goes, "Oh, hell no, we wouldn't have." As it turns out, Jimmy has a kid in New Orleans, and that kid was in like some sort of a play, and he had flown in to see this kid in the play. And for people that don't know, Jimmy Page likes to shop at like used record stores and buy Zeppelin bootlegs. So I bought this thing like 4 days before Jimmy Page came into the store. But Hypnosis is responsible for that design. That's the people who designed this. They're also responsible for the album cover of "Wish You Were Here" from Pink Floyd. So it's a big company. They used to do visual and promotional art, stuff like that. And now they're getting into musical content. So they own the rights to the Motley Crue catalog. But they've been around for 40, 50 years.
Johnny, what was the price that catalog sold for?
$1
million. Now, keep in mind, you don't think about it, but a lot of songs, especially 80s metal, get used nowadays a lot in commercials, in TV shows, in sporting events. I just started watching Cobra Kai, and a rat must be dancing in the streets with happiness because they've used already like 3 Rat songs just in the first season, mention them by name, and like those guys are getting residual checks for the use of their music. Twisted Sister 2. I think I heard an Anthrax song. I mean, there's like all these 80s metal bands are getting like used in Cobra Kai, and then like Poison and a lot of TV commercials I know have used "Kickstart My Heart" and a bunch.
Well, I mean, look at when that. What was that? Was it a Toyota or a
a car commercial that ran?
But it was a Toyota or a Nissan van where they used Hellion Electric Eye.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, holy shit.
So these catalogs are they have legs. They're not just, being played on the station and whatever. They're in movie soundtracks now. They're in a lot of pop culture stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think it says how much. John Beale, are you here?
John Biel's counting the money he didn't spend buying that catalog.
We got to ask yourself, what is, we just goofed on every song that Motley Crue had that was a hit. You got to say to yourself, is buying the entire catalog worth the half dozen hits?
Would it be funny if they sold them piecemeal and you could buy one song at a time?
Right.
It's like, I'd like to buy Home Sweet Home. And my friend would like to buy Kickstart My Heart. Okay.
Yeah, to go.
That's 500,000 a piece.
So 305 songs sold. I mean, that's a lot of music. I mean, let's say,
and there are a lot that won't be used. I mean, most of them won't be used.
But you got to understand, how much is it worth licensing? I mean, owning that stuff. If they own the rights to the catalog, all right. Do they own the publishing rights? Do they own the performance royalty rights? I mean, because there are different rights that happen. Like, for example, if he sold the performance rights or all the rights to the music catalog, he doesn't get his BMI check every year for those songs that get played on the radio.
I don't know about the performance. Yeah. I mean, publishing rights is basically what you're doing when you sell them.
Unless you sold all the rights, because you can sell all the rights to your music. And if that means that then he doesn't get his BMI check, which I think is a big mistake for a band like Motley Crue, because even though they only have a half dozen songs on the radio, those songs are played thousands of times a day across the United States.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you hear
about the licensing though, if you get a car commercial, and do you know how often a car commercial for like a Toyota, Nissan, Honda, something like that is played?
It depends on if you're getting paid piecemeal, or you get like a point on the record, or if it's just a one-time performance. Like, I know the kid that sang Always Coca-Cola, and he would go out to his mailbox about every 6 weeks and pick up a check for about $12,500.
Yeah, I mean,
every 6 weeks he got $12,500 for the amount of times that commercial ran.
But that's usually what it runs. That's usually, that's usually how it goes, is like it goes by the airing, just like an actor usually.
It's piecemeal. But with like record, with album sales, or with airplay, it's fractions of a cent, just like streams. It's fractions of a cent. So a band like, for example, a friend of mine told me that the bass player of a prominent Canadian rock trio, who shall remain nameless, made about $400,000 a year in performance royalties.
It wasn't the jerk off Canadian band you were discussing earlier. Wasn't that?
No, that guy's not from Canada.
Okay.
Canada doesn't allow assholes in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are you sure?
There's one that I'm aware of. There's one guy in the mustache.
They've kept me out so far. So
yeah, but he makes almost $500,000. Now keep in mind, he didn't write the songs. He just played on the songs. And he still gets a check for about $400K a year, or he did at the time that we were talking about this. I don't know what the money is now, but so think about that for a second. Just playing bass guitar on a band that has, again, about as many hits on the radio as Motley Crue does. It's $500,000 a year.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Sammy Reynolds brings up Richie Sambora sold his rights to his catalog to a hedge fund a few years ago. Can you imagine owning writing rights to Bon Jovi?
Oof. Well, I mean, look at David Bowie back before he died. And this was, early 90s. He sold stock in future earnings.
Wow.
David Bowie incorporated himself, and you could buy stock in David Bowie's future records.
Not a bad deal there.
He was way ahead of his time on just about everything.
The Rolling Stones are thinking of doing it now. They're like, oh, we got a good another 20, 30 years in us.
Well, if you can, there's a value to that stuff.
There is tremendous stuff.
Ask Rat how much I bet you they made more. I bet your Rat made more off that fucking Geico commercial than they ever did in album sales.
Oh, no, that's why I said Rat right now is on cloud 9.
Yeah.
Any members that have publishing rights still, because aside from that Geico commercial, which brought them back onto the charts into high numbers and record sales and downloads and all that. Now to have like multiple songs airing on Cobra Kai and get mentioned by name, it like points out to like a whole nother audience. Hey, remember how cool Rat is? And it's like, they're getting all their songs out there. Think about that. And there's a band that is like, who knows who still owns what. But who saw that coming?
It used to be Ned says, feed me.
Yeah,
on TikTok.
Johnny has all the publishing rights for Ned.
On TikTok earlier today.
Ned's catalog. See what you did there. Nice. If I wanted a whiny pushy, I'd marry a Jewish girl.
Well, good for them.
No, absolutely. I wish I knew the number, though. I'm curious what that would go for. I remember back in the day how pissed off Paul McCartney was giving advice to Michael Jackson. Yeah, if you want a good investment, you want to buy publishing rights of songs. We own all the publishing right, or you should own your publishing rights because that's where all the real money is. And Michael Jackson said, "Oh, all right, well, that's a good idea. I'm gonna go shopping and see what songs I could buy. I'm gonna buy the best ones available." And he bought the Beatles catalog. And Paul McCartney was like livid. He's like, "What you wouldn't bought our catalog? We wanted that." "Yeah, but you said it's a great investment, so I bought the best ones. And you guys are the best. So thank you for the advice. I fucked you."
Many of the bands that we love made their money back by owning their catalog. I mean, Iron Maiden did it, and that's why they've remastered it and reissued it so many different times, because they get paid every time it happens. Metallica now owns their catalog.
That's smart.
Metallica they got some leverage.
Two bands that have tremendous followings, no matter what they put out.
Right, and whose back catalog continues to sell in the millions every year. I mean, the Black Album still sells over 1 million records a year, and now Metallica makes 100% of the profit on that.
Yeah, and then there's Load and Lulu, which sell about 3 copies a year.
Well, it still happens. Maiden has done it. Saxon has done it. Kiss, I think Kiss owns their catalog now. I'm trying to think. I think AC/DC sold their catalog. They got their catalog from Atlantic.
You would expect a band as big as we are and Kiss to, of course, own our songs. It's just me and Gene, basically, because Tommy, everyone's a work for hire now. So it's just me and Gene. We own all of it.
I think AC/DC sold theirs to Sony when they got the new record deal. They sold the back catalog to Sony. I think Sony owns the old AC/DC catalog.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, a band, if you can own your publishing, own your own catalog, that's why Metallica has their own label and they put everything out. And it's interesting. That's what happened. I think what happened with Ozzy when Sharon pulled all the remasters, those 20-bit remasters, pulled them off the market, and then redid the 2 records because she owned all the publishing and didn't have to pay Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake. Yeah, that's where that whole lawsuit came from.
You think Ozzy's hair was great today? You should have seen Jakey Lee's when he realized he got fucked.
By the way, fun fact.
In a minute.
I finally picked up the second Red Dragon Cartel record, and it's infinitely better than the first one.
That's great.
No, Metal Soda. It's not the Fat Kid from the Sandlot. It's Little Diabetes. Everybody's been asking, but yeah, it's Little Diabetes.
Right now, Wilford Brimley is looking down in heaven and giving us the thumbs up. I like the idea of the Wilford Brimley mobile. Just oatmeal in the glove box. Jeez.
I don't know if Universal owns Kiss Halface. I think Kiss licenses to Universal because Universal swallowed up Polygram. And I think when they swallowed up Polygram, they tried to get rid of certain assets. And when they tried to get rid of certain assets, those assets involved Kiss. And I think Kiss renegotiated a deal where they took ownership of the catalog, but they license it. Kind of like with Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin owns their catalog, but they license it to Atlantic Records.
Wasn't Kiss originally on Casablanca?
Yes. And then in 1980 or so, 81, Casablanca got bought up by Polygram.
Okay.
Because they went under because they were poorly managed. Because there was a lot of cocaine going through the Casablanca.
JoJo the Chimp must have been into management.
Yeah. But and that's one of the things you won't remember this band, but they were pretty good. A band called Craving Theo. They came out of Portland in the early 2000s.
Bill Cosby came home drunk one night.
Yeah.
Where are you, Theo?
Theo, I would like to talk to you about my nuts.
In the bathtub with a razor.
Get down in filthy flan, and I want you to take my nuts in your mouth. Bah.
I have a craving, Theo.
Put a pudding pop in the butt.
Do you like the taste of devil dogs in your mouth? It's like a yodel, which is what I want you to do when your lips touch my nuts.
My nuts. Look at Johnny Beane. Why do you have your hand over your mouth? Are you going to puke?
That's horrible.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Horrible. Have you seen the show?
We're horrible.
Have you seen Tuesday Night Show?
We're shitting all over Bill Cosby, and we're the horrible ones.
Yeah, listen,
Bill fucking Cosby.
I don't have a lot of mercy.
You're not going to. I'm not taking Bill Cosby's side in any argument ever again.
You would have asked me in 1986, I would have been like, all right, Dr. Huxtable. But now it's like, the doctor's administering some drugs. Right in the glass.
Want to stir the glass and make the bubbles in the mouth.
Yeah.
Normally people would be interested in the Rudy, but I'm thinking I would like a little taste of the Theo.
I'm craving Theo. And as soon as he wakes up from this coma-like state, I'm going to tell him nothing happened.
So this band Craving Theo, they get signed. They had a record that they independently produced. It was ready to go. It was a fucking fantastic record, ready to go. The independent version is significantly better than the version that Columbia Records ended up putting out. What happened was, and we told them when they got signed, we helped them get signed when I was working in Sacramento. We told them when they got signed, the first thing the record label is going to say to you is this album needs to be remixed. Don't listen to them. They're going to fuck you out of your royalties. They're going to fuck you out of your publishing. They're going to fuck you out of all this stuff because when you sign that contract, they're going to say, we own this, and all this stuff. And your record is going to be ruined and they're going to fucking throw it off into the discount bins. And damned if that didn't happen because when Craving Theo got signed to Columbia Records, there was this little band called System of a Down that popped big and no other rock band on Columbia Records got any juice whatsoever. They put everything in the System of a Down card and every other band got fisted and they had nothing to show for it. They had no masters. They had no record. They had nothing. They got completely screwed by the industry.
Speaking of fisted, I'll be
about putting my fist about elbow deep in your rectum.
I'll be putting this in you and you can call me Pops. Just call me Puddin' Pops for short. It's just like Jello pudding.
And that's the I expect the lawsuit in 3,
2, 1.
Yep. That's the beautiful part. The only thing they have is Johnny Beane's P.O. box. Good luck finding us.
I know Mancuda lives around here somewhere.
I just look for the homeless people shouting at a building.
I'll give this homeless guy $1 to tell me. Do you know Mancuda? Oh, the guy shouted at you?
Was he the guy that was asking you if you would share his cereal with you?
Didn't you used to own Bang Energy Drink?
And
That homeless guy.
scene.
Oh, Cosby, we miss you. No, we really don't.
No, we really don't. Fuck that guy.
Really
I don't mean that literally, because
I'm going to spread your ass cheeks 30 cubits by 20 cubits.
That's Qubits, not Qbert, the video game.
Would you like me to drain an orange soda out your rectum?
You cannot take the orange soda in the butt. It becomes the brown soda.
So I had my brother Russell looking out. Okay, Bill, no one's coming. Take her panties off. Oh, Cosby, you're killing me. At least he's in prison. That's all.
That's why they call him Callista Flockhart, because he got no ass.
I used to love that. Yo, Rudy, you is like a summer vacation. All right, Fat Albert. Why am I like a summer vacation?
No
You got no class. Yeah. You got to watch Cosby, kids, if you want to get those jokes,
that was
kids.
a great show.
If you're not careful, you might just learn something, and I'll root for you.
Yeah, and then
see.
the brown hornet and his trusty buddy Stinger. Using the brown hornet's superpowers, they escaped. Oh, God. Don't hassle the Hoff and don't fear the Huxtable. Hasselhoff keeps his nose clean. Cliff Huxtable, man. I don't know what happened to you, buddy. She turned into a rapist. So we do know what happened to you, actually. Jesus Christ.
I'm in the shower right now, and I'm thinking about putting the penis in the mouth.
I'm washing it for you.
My nuts are completely clean.
And I'm keeping your head out from sinking under the water until you regain consciousness.
All righty.
All right. Have we called Cosby a rapist enough? Probably not, but
Nope.
you can never say it enough. Not someone we actually admire these days.
Hey.
So let's.
Hey, I'm coming your way, all over your face.
Let's see. Other fun things in music news. Let's talk about Kingdom Come. Speaking of come, did somebody say come?
You're gonna keep me coming.
Kingdom Come, not seen for a while. Now without frontman Lenny Wolf, who, many constantly compared to Robert Plant. Still have that Led Zeppelin sound. Supposedly, they put together some new songs that they claim still have that Led Zeppelin vibe. New frontman Keith St. John, who you guys remember from Montrose and Lynch Mob, is the new frontman. And they are having a studio event this Saturday that you can do on pay-per-view. So they're calling it the Monsters of Rock Cruise studio event. It's this Saturday. And it's $10 in advance to view it, or $15 day of. And then you can buy, get this kind of gets me. You could buy $125 VIP viewing. Now remember, you're not at an actual concert. You're just watching TV on pay-per-view. So $10, I'm all cool with that. 15 day of the show, we can still work with that. That's fine. But we're talking $125 to have a VIP viewing experience in your living room. Now you ask, what does that include? What do I get for my $125? So you get to watch the Kingdom Come concert, regular $10 ticket. You get a button, a t-shirt, a poster, and a Zoom greeting to talk to the band. So if you want to have, like we're having little conversations right now, and Paul's in Kingdom Come. So, hey, listen, I really like your first album.
Yeah, Lenny's not in the band anymore.
Fuck. Can I get my 125 back? Is he in the poster? Is he on the shirt?
Lenny's not in the band anymore.
Is it a Lenny button?
Nope, Lenny's not in the band anymore. There's no interest in this. There's no reason for you to be watching this. You're an idiot. You're a sap. Why did you give us this money?
Company, now get him on the phone. We got to avoid this.
It's funny. I own all of the Kingdom Come stuff up until, Jesus, I don't remember. I've got like 5 of their records.
But do you like it? See what I did there?
I did. I actually also liked Stone Fury too. So, that first Kingdom Come record is the best Led Zeppelin record. Like, that's why I didn't.
Right.
I mean, I hate Greta Van Fleet, but I didn't give them a whole lot of hell because a lot of bands before them had already done that. Kingdom Come, obviously, being the obvious one. Bonham, Great White. We could go down the list.
Great White is so great on their own. Pardon the pun. I mean, look, look what I'm wearing today.
No, I get it. Yeah, I get it. But the Zeppelin comparison was apt and well earned. I mean, they didn't hide it. It worked for them. Good for them. They did the exact same thing that Whitesnake did. Everybody went, especially after Kingdom Come popped. No pun intended. Once that record happened, everybody was like, "Oh, you want to hear what Zeppelin sounded like? We're going to cover Babe, I'm Going to Leave You, and Whitesnake's going to do this, and this is going to do this, and this." I mean, it just became Zeppfest. Every band that said, because they were like, "Oh, people still like Led Zeppelin." Yeah, people still like Led Zeppelin. Okay, I'm in. I mean,
but dude, $125 for a fucking
Kingdom Come.
For not only just for Kingdom Come, a real life ticket wouldn't cost $125 for Kingdom Come. That's a real life ticket. So now you're watching it in your living room. I don't care that you get a t-shirt. I mean, hey, I went to a concert, you get a t-shirt. When you say, hey, I saw a concert on TV and they mailed me a t-shirt. How great is that? And a poster and a button? What are you going to do with a fucking button? Are you really going to go around wearing a Kingdom Come button? And forget even that he's not in the band anymore. Forget that you have a different frontman totally changing the sound. You're going to really wear a Kingdom Come button and hang up a poster? Hey, hey, what do you got on your wall there? Oh, that's Kingdom Come. Wait, who? They were an 80's band. They were an 80's band. And you got a poster of them? I don't recognize them at all. Yeah, no, they made a poster. How much did that cost you? Well, it came with a $125 pay-per-view by poster. Button right here. Are you high? And what are you even going to ask the band on this Zoom call? What are you going to ask the band?
Where's Lenny? How come Lenny's not in the band?
How come Lenny left? Well, he'd retired. Oh, okay. Is he coming back? No. Are you going to do a new album? Yes. Will Lenny be on that? No, he retired. So Keith St. John's in the band now? Yes. Is he holding a spot for Lenny? No, Lenny's.
So Keith St. John is in the band. Yes. He's the guy that's not Oni Logan. Yes. He's the guy that's not Sammy Hagar. Yes. And now he's the guy that's not Lenny Wolf.
He should have a shirt that said, "I'm not that guy." That's it. Oh, you're in Montrose. You were on that up. No.
He's not that guy more than what's his face?
Pick one.
I can't believe I can't believe I can't remember his name. Robert Mason.
Oh, jeez.
Robert Mason is not that guy in more bands.
But he's not the Robert Mason guy either. That's the beauty of it. You're not Oni Logan. You're not Robert Mason not being Oni Logan. You're the guy that's not Robert Mason who's not Oni Logan. So you should have a chain of down your shirt. You know, I'm not Oni Logan or the guy that replaced Oni Logan. I'm the guy that replaced the guy that replaced Oni Logan.
You're not. So what you're saying is Keith St. John is not even Gary Sharon.
It's terrible, but yeah. Even Gary Sharon's like, well, that takes a lot of pressure off of me.
Yeah, that's just the worst. That's just off. You know who he's not? He's not Jeff Scott Soto. Jeff Scott Soto is another guy who's not that guy. And I say I love Jeff Scott Soto. I think he's a fantastic vocalist, and I'm sure Keith St. John is a fantastic vocalist too. But he's so fantastic, he's filling in for Lenny Wolf. I mean, I'm sure all money's green, and that's fantastic. But I guarantee you, when people watch this Kingdom, if anybody watches this Kingdom Come thing, they punch on the Kingdom Come thing, they go, "Fuck is that singer?"
They're all going to tune in, and you see like in the chat, like other viewers, it's like, so let's give a big shout out before we start to Pooh Ninja, Halface, and Nightbot. Yeah, and I'm sure other people will come in as we start playing. Yeah, right now Ripper Owens is like, whew, glad they didn't give me that call.
There's another guy who's not that guy.
It's like what was that movie where would you like to join Steel Dragon?
Yeah. So you want the gig? No.
Do you want the gig, man?
You want the gig, man?
When Keith St. John was auditioning for that, he looked to the left and saw Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, it's like.
But then she made out with the transsexual woman.
Do you like it?
I don't like it.
So, do you want the Led Zeppelin imitator gig then?
Hey, will you guys be playing any Stone Fury songs? No, that's Lenny. Oh, he's not in the band anymore.
And Mr. Hellstorm 74. This isn't again Keith St. John. This isn't against Keith St. John. You know.
No. I mean, look, he's got a paying gig.
Yeah, it's just the idea. This isn't against him. It's just the idea that Kingdom Come basically made their name around Lenny, basically being a clone of Robert Plant. And if that guy is gone, you've lost your top Coke bottle. That's right. Your guy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like
Zeppelin loses Eddie and Dave and Sammy. You know, there you go.
It's a bad scene. It's bad. It's Kingdom Come. I mean, it's Kingdom Come. I mean, the idea that I don't know that I would be shocked to shit. Somebody will do this just to spite me. I would be shocked to shit if they sell one VIP.
Oh, I'd love to hear the experience of someone who bought that VIP experience. $125. What are you fucking thinking? Who loves Kingdom Come that fucking much?
Not even Lenny Wolf.
Even their family. Yeah, Lenny's not even checking it out. Like, you know, I'll check in to wish the guys good luck. No, he's not even doing that. He's like, 125. I'll call him on his cell phone. Yeah, nobody's. What a stupid fucking idea. I mean, come on.
And again, I don't blame Keith St. John, just like I don't blame Todd LaTorre for taking the Queensryche gig.
No, and Todd is like a perfect.
Yeah, and I don't blame Robert Mason for not being that guy. I mean, when you are that versatile as a vocalist and you can come in and fill in for all the guys that you fill in for, and make a nice paycheck, good for you. I mean, there's more power to you on that. The idea from a business standpoint that somebody in the Kingdom Come management staff said, okay, we're going to do, I know all these great bands, these bands like the Circle are doing these COVID sessions, these quarantine sessions where they're doing these great covers of these great bands. And I know that Andrew Freeman and Josh Jones did a kick-ass version of a Montrose song, and all these amazing bands like Metallica and all these stuff are doing rehearsals and shit from their studios. Charlie Benante from fucking Anthrax is doing amazing covers from his rehearsal studio. We're going to charge people $10 to watch Kingdom fucking Come without Lenny Wolf. I bet you they can't cover the internet cost for that. I bet you whatever the network cost they needed for that, I bet they don't cover. I bet they lose money on this thing.
Right now, management is going, the internet, it's $300. How did we not make $300? Did we sell any VIPs?
I don't believe 25 people watch this thing.
No, look, I think for the $10, pay-per-view price, that's cool. You're a fan of Kingdom Come or just metal in general, you like 80s bands, that's cool. That's a fair price. You're 15 the day of, that's fine. You want to see a band? That's a neat show. I'm cool with that.
They're gonna profit $250.
That's less than that's the bottom line.
That's less. No, not even going to profit. They're going to gross $250.
So we have to split the band, pay for the internet. Did anyone order in catering? I got McDonald's. Damn you! I told you not to splurge.
They are going to lose money on this thing.
And it's on the Monsters of Rock Cruise website as an event on a Saturday night. Again, I think it's fine. It's cool, but like, who the hell is going to buy that VIP experience?
No.
Listen, if you're watching right now and you are thinking about buying the VIP experience, hit the like button now because it's cheaper than wasting your money on the fucking VIP experience.
Yeah, I mean, I would never. I don't want to deny any band the opportunity to make revenue. I mean, I support music, but $125 for Kingdom Come. Stop.
Not even fully Kingdom Come.
Not even Kingdom Come
with a different frontman. And nothing gets money to retire. I mean, that's his thing. Got to get somebody.
This is literally Dio Disciples.
Basically, it's part of the band without the frontman.
Without the guy. Without the guy. The guy that's like going to see. It's not even hologram. Fuck. Get the five other guys in Kingdom Come up there and put a hologram, put a fucking a cardboard stand-up of Lenny Wolf like this.
And just do the vocal track.
Play the vocal track behind it and play live to it.
Yeah, just do what Don Dawkins doing lately.
No offense to Keith St. John, a very talented singer.
Sure.
Dude, this is the dumbest ideas.
When you have a band that's such a niche, is that him? Is that him at your door?
No, that's the audience reaction. It's a Bone.
Yeah, it's the same Bone. No, when you have,
I'm gonna check on that. I'm listening. I've got it on.
You have a niche band like that. That's just like a one-trick pony. I mean, that's your trick. It's like when you've lost the guy that makes you sound like Led Zeppelin because he is an exact copy of Robert Plant to a T, perfectly in his prime. You've lost your gimmick. What are you going to do? It's like, there's just nothing there. There's no gimmick now. You don't have what made you your band. And it's not like Warrant after Janie Lane, gets a different frontman. It's not like Great White gets a different frontman. These are bands that had a lot of other tricks up their sleeve. These are good established bands. Kingdom Come,
They had hits.
Kingdom Come has one trick, and that's it. The trick is Lenny. He sounds like Robert Plant. That's it. Jeez. So there you go. Kingdom Come, in your face, literally. Let's see. What other joyous things do we have? Kingdom Come, Motley Crue, we talked about already. Talked about Ozzy, talked about Vince Neil, Vinnie Vincent. Oh, this is a fun story. So Satchel of Steel Panther was recounting a time when, Steel Panther has a lot of guests on when they play a show. They look for people in the audience that are, from other bands or, guest guitarists, a guest singer pops in. People love to guest appear at a Steel Panther show, almost in the way like celebrities used to pop out of the window on the Batman TV show in the 1960s. Have you ever watched the reruns of Batman and Robin are climbing the rope? All of a sudden, Jerry Lewis, "Oh, hey, Batman! What are you doing here?" "Oh, back in, citizen. We're after the Joker." Have a good time!" And there you go. People would pop out of that window. It's the same thing in a Steel Panther concert. Steel Panther plays. They hear, "Hey, before the show, oh, CC DeVille is here. Oh, great. We'll call him up to the stage during this song." So they're going through this song. They're going through their set, rather, and CC DeVille is asked to come up on stage and play a little bit. Now, CC at the time was piss drunk. So while he's watching the show, he's hammering a couple down and going and going and going. And they finally get to the point. "All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great guest for you tonight. Gonna jam with us a little bit, CC DeVille." And CC comes up and he's so smashed. He's like, they hand him a guitar and he's like, "I don't want to play guitar. I don't want to play guitar. I want to play. I want to play the drums. I want to play the drums. Ricky showed me I could play the drums." So he starts playing this long drum solo, and he's doing it. He's playing this drum solo. The problem is he's going on and on and on and on and on. The solo's going forever, and they're just like, nobody wants to see CC DeVille playing the drums, for starters. And he's drunk and he's just like not stopping. And they're like, "CC DeVille, oh, he's still going. Okay." And CC DeVille, he's still going. "Oh, you want to try guitar?" "No." All right. CC on drum. Yeah. Come on, CC. Eventually, they're trying to get him to play guitar. They're like whispering, "Hey, listen, man, enough of this drum joke bullshit. Come pick up the fucking guitar." And he's like, "I don't want to play guitar." And, basically at that point, they had to call security to drag him off stage to just, to get him off. So I thought that was a fun little recount that they couldn't get him to play guitar and they couldn't get him to stop. Couldn't get him to leave. So
yeah, but that's CC in a nutshell.
Well, no, that was basically the alcohol talking, because if CC was straight, and you know him too. If CC was straight, he would get on and grab a guitar and jam his ass off and just have a fun time with those guys. This was not one of those nights. This was one of those nights. He was like, where am I? It's like you're at the House of Blues. House of Booze, give me another shot. It's like,
yeah, but you got to. I mean, it really is. It really is kind of sad to see 60-year-old CC DeVille still in that perpetual adolescence thing. Like it becomes sad to watch. It's no longer funny. Now it's like, somebody got to get a hold of him before he hurts himself.
I think it was just one of those nights that, a lot of us have had and all regret. And, it's that time at the party. Remember when you got a little too drunk at the party? That's oh yeah. I don't know what happened. It's one of those times. He's not what he used to be years ago where he had, he had legitimate drug problems and whatever. That this is probably one of those times where, look, you go out with your friends, you tied one on too much, you're not driving home, you're feeling good, and then you called onto stage, and then the alcohol takes over your reason, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to watch CC play guitar, and it's like, what's he doing behind the drum set?
You know what, though? I mean, here's the thing. There's part of me that is kind of angry with Steel Panther because they do this all the time. When they've got somebody famous in the crowd that they know is overserved or they know is a little fucked up, they put them on stage and they work them. And they did it with Kelly Clarkson, obviously, early on.
Right, I remember that.
You know what I mean? They have this tendency to do that, and I almost feel like it's kind of an asshole move. When you know that these guys are incapable of performing, or these guys, why are you putting them on stage to embarrass them? I mean, it's getting to that point now where it's no longer funny friends ball busting. Now it's like these guys are exploiting it and pointing out. The wink is no longer apparent. It doesn't seem like they're having fun anymore. Now it seems like they're exploiting it in a let's laugh at these guys. We're not laughing with them anymore. We're laughing at them. It's starting to feel that way with Steel Panther, and they need to knock that shit off.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, let's put some responsibility into another sector. You're at a Steel Panther show. You're a known entity. You know what the deal is. You're going to be called up on stage. Take it easy. It's like you're driving. If you're driving, to take it easy on the drinks. If you think you're going to be called on stage, you probably take it easy on the drinks. And a lot of times during the 80s, half these bands were blotto going into a concert. I mean, let's be real.
I understand that, but they were 20. They were 20-something, and they were partying, and that was their thing. Now it's starting to feel like the guys in Steel Panther want to make fun of these guys, and not good fun, but look at this guy. Look what he is. He's 60 years old, and he's an embarrassment in public. And it's starting to feel that way, and I don't want it to feel that way. I know those guys; they seem like good dudes. I
don't think there was any malicious intent on their part. I think they're just having a party, having a fun time, having a little party, having some jokes. I don't think they're like purposely saying, "Hey, look at this."
I think they're dancing close to a very dangerous line that goes beyond "we're having fun" to more of a bully situation. I mean, they do it with Motley Crue, and I get it. And they've done it with Kelly Clarkson, and I get it. And she was a great fucking sport about it. And I'm sure CC's a great sport about it too, but I just think that at some point, you wouldn't like him when he's angry. I think at some point it's no longer fun. It's not fun anymore. It's obnoxious. And Steel Panther should realize that bands like Quiet Riot had their careers cut short because they were assholes. Don't be assholes.
But I think when you go to a Steel Panther show, you're looking at a parody of the 80s, basically. And I think everything's kind of game. I mean, they're bringing girls up on there to flash, and they're doing a lot of 80s-esque stuff that wouldn't be okay today at a normal show. Everything's a dick and pussy joke. Everything's bring girls on stage to flash. Everything's, parody songs. And, who are they bringing on stage? Mostly people from the 80s, mostly people who were, in that scene and laughing at themselves kind of thing, I don't think they meant any malice on it.
I just think that it's the perception being reality. It's going to get to a point where all these guys do is shit on the guys that they're allegedly paying tribute to. And I think that perception being reality, we're in a society now where it's not funny to make fun of drunk people. It's not funny to make fun of old people, 60 years old, who are still a 60-year-old CC DeVille, sloppy drunk in a bar is not funny anymore. It's
so
sad.
do we want to edit out that Motley Crue elderly thing we did?
No. What I'm saying is there's a difference between us doing this as joking and fucking around than putting a guy on stage to embarrass himself in front of a crowd. I just think there's a difference between the two. I'm just saying, I'm not.
I see what you're saying. I do.
I think that it runs. You can't can't play that card too many times lest you be painted as an asshole. And you don't want that to be the case. Those guys don't seem to be as reverential as they were. They seem to be starting to get a little bit full of themselves, and it could backfire for them.
In all fairness, though, I don't think they expected that to happen. I don't even know if they knew he was drinking. They knew he was in the house. They called him up because that's what they do. You know, I am sure they didn't expect him to say, "Hey, move over. I want to play drums tonight." Because it's like, why would you call him up for that? It's CC DeVille. You know, you want to hear him play guitar. He's a great guitar player. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, who knows how long he was on stage with them?
Well, apparently, you know, after this drum solo kept going on and on and on, they just basically asked security, like, you know, I think it's time for our guests to abscond the stage. Jerry Wilson, I think it's like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. Did I ever tell you the time I played with Steel Pamphlet, Pamper, Steel Pamper, and I used to be the second chair cellist in my school band, and I played with Stealing Pampers.
That was like you at the end of our New Year's Eve show.
Yeah, right.
9 hours.
I was lost if I wasn't drinking. Let's see what happens this year if we make it to the end of 2020.
See, I knew the night I got really screwed up on the Saturday night show that it was getting to the point where I'm going to embarrass myself. Tapped out. I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm getting out of control now. Time to go away.
By the way, if you're watching, let's bring those thumbs up just for the fun of it. Leave a thumbs up. Just take a second. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
No. I think I'm all for having fun and I'm all for goofing on stuff. But I think, like you said, CC overstayed his welcome. Now it's become embarrassing. And that's all people remember is that you were the guys that embarrassed CC DeVille. Not that CC DeVille embarrassed himself, but that you let it happen and exploited it.
But again, what were you going to do when you realize, oh, okay, he's going for the drums. Oh, okay, he's drunk now. What do I do now?
You go over like the drummer, Styx goes over and grabs him and gives him a big hug and picks him up and, brings him over and hugs him and it makes it a thing and gets him out of the way so that he stops embarrassing. There's a way to do it. There's a classy way to get a sloppy person off stage.
That's true.
There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. I'm not saying, look, I'm certainly not shitting on the night. I think it's great. And CC should be responsible for himself. It is sad that, 60-something-year-old CC DeVille is still getting fucked up in a club. That's like the senior.
It happens. I
understand.
I don't think it's like an alcoholic thing where he's a constant fixture at the club. Oh, he's always sloshed here. I think it just happens to be one of those nights. He just had a little too much. That's all. You can't hold
I get that. Like I said, once or twice is cool, but if you start making a regular thing of that, you can be saddled with a label of being assholes and nobody wants to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a danger. It's a potential.
He's not quite 60 yet.
No,
he's 60.
Well, technically he says he's 58.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Add 4 or 5 years to that.
All those guys lied about their ages back then. They're all like 5 years older. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think Johnny's 29 too.
I'm 20. I just turned
40. I just turned 41.
Did you turn 40? Okay. I didn't realize you just turned 40. That's
I lie about it. I try to tell people I'm 38.
How'd you get 11 years older than me suddenly?
I'll be 40 someday.
Someday, I guess I'll have to. I mean, but not for another 50 years. Anyway, so that's Steel Panther and CC DeVille. And look, I love Steel Panther and I love CC. So shit happens basically.
Sure.
That's the moral of that story. Speaking of shit happens, let's see. Speaking of shit happens, Bang energy drink.
If you want shit to happen, it will go through you.
Nothing goes better with a fresh, delicious shit sandwich than Bang energy drink. We love Bang. Thank you, Bang.
And you can use, when you're having that shit afterwards, you can use Swiss Picks as if it was a Play-Doh Fun Factory.
Scoop it up like a pate. Delicious.
You can even double dip.
And the holes keep it fresh. So there you go. Let's see. Speaking of shit, Sebastian Bach and Michael Sweet have both gone on record this week. You notice Sebastian Bach has been on record, as has Dee Snider, and they're all debating about Kiss. Basically, Sebastian Bach and Michael Sweet are defending Kiss in their last tour with the overdubs. We've talked about the overdubs helping Paul and Gene out and saying they put on a show. Dee Snider's still basically going on what a lot of people go on about. Again, Tommy Thayer in the Ace makeup and Eric Singer in Peter Criss's makeup. I mean, we've all beaten this subject to death so much. I can't believe right now that these guys are just Twitter fighting about this. It's like, okay, look, Tommy and Eric are, guns for hire in the band. Everyone and Eric was in the band for a long time, and Tommy was in the band in various capacities, and
they've been in the band longer than Ace and Peter were.
In technical notes, sure, because Eric started in the 90s, and Peter, I'm sorry, Tommy. Tommy was, Tommy was filling in for Ace early on, little hidden things, and eventually took over the gig. But the bottom line is, Paul and Gene have made this machine where the makeup characters are now who's in the band. And regardless of the players, whether it's Ace and Peter or Eric and Tommy, whoever's in the makeup is that character of Catman and Spaceman. And
yeah,
look,
it's like casting a new actor to be Batman.
Yeah, on a personal note, do I wish, given the nature of past guys that have joined the band, like Vinnie Vincent and Eric Carr, do I wish that they came up with their own makeup gimmick and their own look? Yes, I do. Do I think it's right that they're Ace and Peter? No, I don't. But with that said, this is just how it is. This is just how and you can't blame them. They're just guns for hire. If your boss said, hey, this is the job, either you do it or I'm getting two other guys to do it, you're going to do it, especially in that band. But Sebastian and Michael are basically defending them in general, and Dee is basically giving what a lot of us feel, that it's not right that new guys are in other people's identities technically. But like you said, Paul, it's like Batman at this point.
There is an interview that I think I've referenced before that was done almost 10 years ago where I spoke to Gene on my website. If you go to neanderpaul.com and you scroll to the radio section, keep scrolling down to where it says Gene Simmons is rich, just ask him. Go to the last 30 seconds of the interview, and I asked him, I said, is there going to come a time when there'll be four other guys? And this was like 10 years ago. We're going to be four other guys up there on stage in Kiss makeup. You'll franchise this thing. And his response to me was, some of those things are already in place. They've already been thinking about franchising this thing. Kiss is Menudo. Kiss is a brand. Kiss is no longer a band. They don't have to release that. And that's why they don't have to actually release new music, because nobody wants to hear new Kiss music. They really don't. When it's all said and done, they want to go to the show. They want to see them play Shock Me and Rock and Roll All Night and God of Thunder and I Love It Loud and Lick It Up. And the Kiss has a significant amount of hits where they never have to release a new album ever again. They can go out on the road as a nostalgia act. And when they're done, they franchise the thing and they have four other guys. I mean, it is the ultimate reality show. Reality TV and all of these shows like Rockstar and America's Got Talent and all that shit Kiss is tailor made for this. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go out on tour as Commander McHale. I'm ready for the I've got the job. I'm ready for it when they're ready. When Hollywood is out of ideas,
you have the uniform.
I'll get the uniform
For Halloween, Paul, you got to get the uniform for Halloween.
It'd be great. And when Hollywood is ready to make another McHale's Navy, I'm your guy. And does it matter that it's not Ernest Borgnine? No. And they're going to take the gig. They're going to keep the. They're going to
someone else will.
Yeah. Can someone keep Alice Cooper going after he's gone? No, Alice Cooper's never going away. And Alice Cooper has integrity. Kiss cops to the fact that they don't give a shit. They're honest about it. They're honest and said, hey, this is a brand. Alice Cooper isn't a brand. Alice Cooper is Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper is a character, but Alice Cooper is Alice Cooper.
Kiss
and that's his
about
thing.
Merchandising. Kiss is about merchandising those characters, and I use the term characters.
Yeah.
They're actors essentially playing those characters at this point. And product. And they have said that, look, at some point when Paul and Gene actually retire, there will be 4 other guys in makeup if they're still going with that. And they will basically be the best authorized Kiss cover band out there.
And the interesting thing about it is, this is one of those things that Gene is absolutely right on. He's spot on about. There has never been an opportunity for you as a fan to actually be the band. You can be the band. You're actually, as a fan, you grow up as a Kiss fan, you have an opportunity to be Kiss. It's like it's like growing up as a football player and you get to play for, the Raiders or the Cowboys or the Packers or whatever your favorite team is at the moment. It's an opportunity to be part of something bigger than you. And for a fan to have an opportunity to actually be Kiss, not in a Kiss tribute band, but you, on your check, it says Kiss. You got to be Gene Simmons for a tour. You got to be Ace Frehley for a tour. You got to be that guy.
You got to be the demon.
No, but that's the point.
You got to be the demon.
But I mean, there's still going to be they're always equated with the guy who created the character. Sure. You got to be that guy. You got to get on stage. Now, that said, you have to play it like Gene Simmons played it. You have to play it like Ace Frehley played it. You can't go up there and do your own thing. That's not the gig. The gig is Kiss. And Kiss is those songs played that way. Yeah,
you're playing that character. If you're Batman, you're miserable about your parents' death, you're grim, you're gritty, you're dark, you're a detective. You're playing the character as the character's written. Kiss is no different.
Yeah. Play it the way it's supposed to be played.
Do I get to drive the Gene Mobile? Do I get the car?
For a nominal fee. For a nominal fee, you can do it.
Taken out of my pay or something? There he is. Barba Papa Tongue.
This looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Gene playing the sousaphone just like I play in Popcorn, see?
Yep.
I'm spot on. Look at that.
Yeah, I think that, JR brings up a point. I'm way too optimistic about people's tolerance for non-Paul and Gene Kiss. I don't think they give a shit. People don't look at TSO. Do you know who plays in TSO?
That's different.
No, it's not. It's a performance. It's a performance of characters. If you went and saw,
you could say the same thing about Whitesnake. You could say the same thing about Whitesnake.
No, you can't.
Was there an original lineup of that
Trans-Siberian Orchestra? Sure, it was the guys from Sabotage.
Right. Yeah. I know Skolnick played in it.
Right. Yeah, Blas Elias plays in it.
Jack Frost has been in there. I mean, they've rotated.
Jeff Scott Soto.
I don't think the casual fan of them that has no idea who's even playing the.
And at this point, all Kiss fans outside of the 3 of us here, or the people that generation of people that give a shit, there's a whole bunch of people that don't even know who Ace Frehley and Peter Criss are. They just see the guys in the makeup.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. They see the guys, they see the character.
But when I'll say this, when Paul and Gene actually do leave, they're not going to get the audiences that they used to without
You
new
don't know that.
without new. I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
It's easy to say. Black Sabbath was able to do it.
To what end?
No.
Think about it.
I think the crowds are going to shrink.
I don't disagree.
Like my cock old swimming pool.
I think they're shrinking already. They're shrinking already. Kiss is not selling out. They're not selling out.
They are selling out that tour. They are selling out those shows. Absolutely, they are.
No, they're not.
The final tour? Sure, they are.
They're papering a lot of that arena.
There'll be a drive-in.
They're selling a lot of those tickets. I mean, not right now. Now with the COVID, no, nothing's going on. But previously, those shows were selling out. Sure, they were. Wicked Lester, baby.
I don't think they were. I don't think they were
out.
sold out. Some
of them were, but they weren't. They weren't selling out everywhere. They paper a lot. They offer a lot of discount, Groupons and all that stuff like that. They're not selling out.
There's a lot of mannequins that they bring in.
No,
Gene, what did you do with all your love dolls from the bus? Why do half the audience have their mouth open?
We had to fill up the back seats.
It's gonna look like Quagmire's Thanksgiving with all these rows of love dolls in the seats. Wow. Wicked Lester with their frontman Mo.
I have the Wicked Lester record here somewhere. It's not very good.
Wow. They originally were going to call the band Hug, but they decided on Kiss. Probably a good idea to go with Kiss.
Did you say Tug?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do after this. That's what I'm going to do after the show. Speaking of new music, let's talk about a couple of new things that came out. Bret Michaels has a new book called Auto Scrapography. So it's basically a tell-all book from him, just a recapping of his career and whatnot in his words. So that's kind of interesting. I'm a big Poison fan, you guys know. Let's see. Todd LaTorre coming out with a solo album coming soon. Not a definitive date yet, but Todd LaTorre doing a little different from his Queensryche stuff. Says it's going to be a little darker, more gravelly, more like Fight and Black Label Society kind of style. And he's doing it with his best friend Craig Blackwell on the album. So that's going to be Todd LaTorre's solo album.
You're not well, Mr. Blackwell.
Sorry.
That's going to be the best dressed album ever.
Yep.
And then let's see. Paulie, you got the new Dokken CD, right?
Or the Lost Songs 7981. Yeah.
Yeah. Don basically went on record recently, and because we were talking about this over the week, you and I, Don went on record basically and saying, yes, they are lost recordings. But then Paul's like, hey, man, play one of these tracks. Tell me what you're thinking. And sure enough, it sounds like Don's current vocals. So I did a little digging, and apparently Don's saying that the old recording tapes that he found were in such bad shape that they had to redo some of the vocal tracks, some of the guitar tracks, and some of the drum tracks. So I'm just like, well, what do you got left? Was the bass line okay? I mean, what do you got left? I mean, if you listen,
it's essentially, it's no different than the Lynch Mob reimagining of Wicked Sensation. Essentially, Don Dokken is reimagining. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some old songs on there, and you can tell the difference in vocals, but the song that I sent to John was abysmal. Just awful. Don sounded awful. It's old and tired and off key, and it's not something from 1979. So beware if you're buying this thing and you think you're getting demos and early demos and stuff. Some of the songs are, but those songs were available already on a compilation called Back in the Streets, which was a bootleg that came out years ago by, I forget, it's a German label. I have the I have both versions of the record. And the Back in the Streets is those are the old songs, and those songs have been cleaned up and included on this new Dokken record. But do not fall for the idea that these are all old songs. They may be old songs, but they have some new vocals on it. And if you think Dokken sounds good in 2020, you are sadly mistaken, because he doesn't. He sounds tired. And it's sad. I like it, but it's...
With that said, let's just put this out there. If you want new Dokken material, this is pretty much as close as you're going to get, because a lot of these are unpublished songs. And just imagine they were written back then, but kind of performed now. I would imagine that they're doing John Levin as the guitar overdubs.
I'm sure he's doing the overdubs. Sure.
Yeah, so I would imagine, and Don's definitely doing the overdubs on some of the vocals, because it's like you can hear the drastic difference. I mean, I hate to say it, obviously I love Don. Look, I'll support anything with Doc, and I feel bad for Don right now, going through a really hard time with his voice.
I bought the record. I didn't get the record as a promo. I didn't get it free.
No, look,
I'm
glad you're supporting it. I'll buy that one too. Again, as a completist and whatever. And again, it is technically to your ear for the most part of the audience out there. It is technically, some new material, but it's like, just, know what you're getting. These aren't just old recordings that they dusted off and published. A lot of this was overdubbed with new vocals. Some of it was overdubbed with new guitars, some of it with new drums, and, whatever survived. But hey, it's Dokken. It's something to go rocking with Dokken with. So, pick it up. Tell me what you think. Leave comments in the video. We reply to comments. We love to hear from you guys and girls. And that's one thing I'm curious about. If you've heard the new Dokken CD or the Lost Songs CD, tell me what you think. I'm curious. I know what Paul thinks. I know what I think. Johnny, have you heard it?
No.
Yeah, I do.
I haven't seen it or heard it. I'll listen to it though if somebody puts a link somewhere.
Well, I mean, you could hear some stuff on YouTube right now if you want to get some sampling.
Oh, I can listen to samples on well, I'm sure it's on Spotify.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly. I mean, like I said, I just think just to support Don at this point. I mean, who knows how much more material you're going to get out of Dokken. I hope more in some way, shape, or form. But for right now, this is something. So I'll take something right now.
I would not be surprised to see him fade off into the night.
Well, like I said, I've grown up with Dokken, love Dokken. I think we all do. It's a hard thing to go through getting old, Most of us do it. Some of us stay 29.
Let's go back. It goes right back to what I was saying about Vince Neil and being 60 years old, and CC DeVille and being 60 years old, being old and trying to talk about, Dokken was never that band though. They weren't like that, party girl band. They weren't that. It's not like there's a difference between Motley Crue and Poison and Dokken.
Yeah.
Dokken was more, I don't want to say more serious, but they weren't as flamboyantly like all about half naked chicks in their videos.
Yeah.
Dokken was trying to be a little cooler than that.
Motley Crue and Poison were, and hey, that's probably why I like them even better. But no, look, I mean, Dokken was more about the music. Not that Motley Crue and Poison weren't, but you knew when you were going to a Motley Crue concert, they were looking for flashing boobs and, groupies and all that stuff hanging around those concerts. Same thing with Warrant. A lot of those guys, if you couldn't get laid at, a Poison concert, I mean, you're hopeless. You're totally hopeless, So you talking to Don or are you talking to the dog?
No, my dog he's being annoying right now. He needs to lay down and stop. He's been playing and playing and playing, and he fucked up. He tore up a whole bunch of paper towels in the other room, and I was really mad about it. Oh. He got up on the table and took an entire roll of paper towels, and just basically looks like a snowstorm in my living room.
Walking
So
in the winter wonderland.
Yeah, he knows he knows he did bad. So I'm trying not to be mad at him because he doesn't know why I'm mad at him.
How can you be mad at that?
Yeah.
He has no
I
idea.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't. You can't. What? You can't scold them. You have to scold them right away. Otherwise, they have no idea.
No,
Yeah,
they got a 20-second attention span.
You got to point at what they just did, and then
Yeah.
maybe it'll sink in, you know. But
yeah, so I can't. I'm just going to be frustrated. I can't take it out on him. I can't be mad at him. I can't yell at him. I just got to let him
do it a half hour later and just point like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, he doesn't know why.
You like what I did? You like what I did? Oh, cool! You like what I did?
Yeah.
Daddy's happy. Ah.
So by the way, on the other side of that, I did get the Lynch Mob Wicked Sensation reimagined because completist. And it's interesting to hear those songs. I am happy that he has a very good version of Lynch Mob on this record. Obviously, Oni Logan is the singer for Lynch Mob and one of the more underrated singers of his time.
Mm-hmm.
The arrangements are somewhat different. They're clearly in a lower key. Some of it works really well. It's nice to hear songs that I've known for 30 years and enjoyed for 30 years reinterpreted. It's almost like hearing different mixes. But I wouldn't say I like it. I have it. I've listened to it. I enjoyed listening to it. I don't know. I'll listen to it multiple times.
The dog doesn't like it. He doesn't.
No, the dog, he's trying to get my attention.
Yeah, he's chewing on your Lynch Mob CD and notices you're not stopping him.
Yeah, well. He sounds better than Dawkins.
You like what I did?
KXM Rock points out Doug Pinnick just turned 70. Doug Pinnick's a phenomenal singer. King's X are not a silly band. It's different. It's different. Doug Pinnick is a bluesy, great singer. King's X are not a band like Motley Crue or Poison who were silly. They were never silly. It's silly to watch old men go on stage and act like they're chasing hot young chicks.
See, I don't know about that. I think one of the things you're going to that show for is that youthful nostalgia that you still want to kind of feed into. I mean, you look at like Aerosmith and the Rolling Stones, you know, again,
different. Their shtick is not their shtick is not predicated upon the young surfer dude party guy grabbing strippers.
True, but again, when you grew up with Poison, Motley Crue, and those kind of bands, you kind of want to, you know, stay part of that mindset. You know, even though
the mindset is great, but the reality. I'll give you a great example. David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth is 64, 65 years old. He can't be Diamond Dave. 60-something-year-old Diamond Dave doesn't work. The Red Hot Chili Peppers in their middle age doesn't work. The act is predicated.
You're going to see Flea walking around nude, and the sock won't cover his balls. They're just going to be dragging on the stage and banging against his bass, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the whole point. Is when your act is predicated upon youth and party and good times, it's difficult to do that when you're gray-haired and fat and sloppy. It just doesn't work. It becomes creepy.
Well, there's gray-haired younger people.
No, but name me one of those party bands that doesn't come across looking silly doing it.
You know what though? I will say this though. I guarantee there will still be groupies at a Motley Crue show.
Yes, but there certainly are. But it's weird. It's weird to see.
There they are.
Yeah.
There they are. No, look, I remember having this conversation with CC DeVille at one point, and he's like, you know, when I was younger, I used to have panties thrown up on the stage. I'd put them on the end of my guitar. Now it's like they're like bloomers. They're big. It comes in the air like a parachute floating down. It's just a big kind of thing.
Let's go back to Kiss. Kiss knew that they were no longer cool, quote unquote, when parents started bringing their kids to the shows. That's how you know that it's over. You know that you're not, when you see a 50-something-year-old guy and his 9-year-old or 10 or 40-something-year-old guy and his 9 or 10-year-old little girl and little boy, you're no longer the dangerous rock band, and that's the issue that a band like, the Chili Peppers or Motley Crue or Fishbone. I mean, pick whatever party band you want to pick out.
Is Fishbone a party band?
Fishbone was, it was a party.
Yeah.
Right? When you go to a Fishbone show, it was a party. A lot of, ska, trombones, jumping around, it doesn't really work. The energy of that doesn't really work when you're middle-aged. It's
I don't know, when I still go to see Motley Crue and I still see, tits flashed in the first couple of rows, again, I'm still enjoying the show.
Those could be dudes though too.
Well, nowadays,
I'll use James from Metallica. I'll use James from Metallica as a great example.
I'd like to use a battering ram for a door, but go ahead.
The Metallica that I grew up with that I love is the Metallica from, Year and a Half in the Life of, or Live Shit Binge and Purge. That's the Metallica I dig. That band is fucking awesome. They were unstoppable. Watching Metallica on stage with Papa Het telling everybody, "Are you having a good time? Metallica loves you." Metallica doesn't love you. Metallica, die by my hand. That's Metallica. Metallica. Slayer knew what the fuck they were doing. Slayer was like, okay, we're going to one more round and we're going to call it a day. And we're out. Because
how many of you out there ready for a nap? We're going to take a nap. Then we're coming back out.
That's the whole point with Metallica. It's weird to see middle-aged James Hetfield say, "Metallica loves you. Be nice to each other. Be careful."
Yeah, James isn't very nice to everybody.
That's not the same band that wrote Battery and the same band that wrote And Justice for All and the same at the Frayed Ends of Sandy. Yeah, that's the thing. So seeing Metallica, middle-aged Metallica trying to sing, Fuck It All and Fuck It No Regrets, or doing, their cover of Last Caress Green Hell or whatever, is the same thing as watching 60-year-old Bret Michaels on stage with his wig. I mean, he still looks young because of the wig and he stays in great shape. But singing Unskinny Bop.
I mean, I see your point, but with that said, I know if I look to my left and look down and there's a wheelchair and Mary is popping out her flappy torpedo, I'm still going to be happy. And I'm still probably going to, cop a feel during the show.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Now, that said, by the way,
I mean,
that said, the last two Metallica records have been phenomenally good. Really good records.
Last two which albums?
The last two Metallica records.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, they've been really, really good. Death Magnetic and Hardwired, whatever.
Hardwired
to Self-Destruct. Those guys, those are great records. They're great, mature, older Metallica records. Phenomenally put together musically. Good songs. Well done.
I think Rob adds a lot to it.
Absolutely. Youthful energy and something that he brings to the band. I think they made two really, really good records. That said, there's a difference between being able to put out great records and be able to pull it off on live. And I think that's the difference. The difference is, yeah, you can make a great album, but to try and get up on stage and recreate the energy and the feeling of that, nobody wants to hear a 60-year-old guy talk about how angry he is. It's like listening to your dad bitch.
Every time I walk on my neighbor's lawn, I hear that.
Get off of my lawn! Get off! Get off of my lawn!
I got something to say. I cursed my shrubbery today. Have to pee.
Oh, there's something to look forward to.
Well, when you're old.
Welcome to where time stands still and stands still. Shit.
Welcome to where I stand still
I can't move and no one will.
My bladder's filled. Manitarium.
Everyone's left me. It's just me. It's now the official John Mancuda and Blue Rhino show. Even Paulie's dog's left. I think they were all thinking about Mary's jugs and going to rub one out. You bastards, you're all masturbating without me. We could have had a circle jerk and Limp Biscuit kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so there's Metallica, but oh, Johnny's back. Good.
Hey.
Yeah, Lars Ulrich is once again talking about possibly moving to Denmark. So there's hope. There's hope. He's talking about going back to his roots. It's like, all right, crawl back up in your mom's vag. Let me know how it is. I haven't been there in years.
Ah, Lars's mom's dead.
So
I found that
Cold
out
Ethel's
in an
dead.
interview.
Cold Ethel's dead. Alice Cooper made it okay for necrophilia. That's okay. What else we got, kids?
We're about ready because I know John has to tap out.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
I got for a walk.
Let's call it a night. Let's thank all of our channel members. Make sure you like the video and subscribe it. Our channel members we'd like to thank tonight, of course, Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Nicole Mrazek, Sean Boland, Linny Lou and Mary. Look at those tits. Crazy Cook 678, Bo Zeke, Julio Baldessari, False Flag, Margaret Scranton. Welcome, Margaret. And Gargot's Entertainment. That's one.
Let's also thank channel members Halface, James Gum, Mancuda is a dildo fucker, 802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr., Frag 5150, Pal Guitars. Pal Guitars is new, isn't it? William Bill Spruce, Frank Corcoran, Thomas Santiago, Brian Spalding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Ghost BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas, Jesus Rapes Me, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael!
You know, here's the thing. It appears that with all these people paying this thing, Johnny Beane is making a small mint.
He's making a fortune.
Fuck.
Hand over the fist that he jams up our rectums, Paulie.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a
He
bitch.
sits here for 3 hours and 41 minutes and does nothing and gets paid.
Except count his money. Right now he's investing. Every time you see him tapping on that screen, he's on one of those E-Trade sites buying stocks and hedge funds and
Rotten prick.
motherfucker. I have to trim hedges to make a living, and Johnny's heads funds.
And
Christ.
Richard Poole.
Dick Pool.
Thank
Wait
you
a
so
minute.
much.
Where's his name? Where?
I got to put it on there.
Oh,
Hey, how
Jesus.
come
He's
my name doesn't go in there? I made a fucking donation this week.
Yeah, our ability and talents. We put a lot of blood, sweat, blood, urine, blood in my stool, and blood into this show. Blood on my pud. I've beat it so much. There's blood on my hands. Lenny Lou says he charges me twice for Mary. Look at that. Johnny's buying the damn G-Mobile. Look at this.
Look at that. And look at the end.
Wisely.
Look at the top. Look at the top.
Ooh.
What is that at the top?
It's what do you call it? What are those things called?
A rock?
I forgot. It's a Barba Papa.
Oh, it's a barber pop on the. I didn't see the tongue, and he put a gold tooth in there. There you go. See, I'm not up for the gold tooth, but I love the barber papa. That's great. We'll see that in the Discord tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Also, really quickly in the Discord, thank you so much, Cobra Kai, man. He's been really busy.
Look at this. How great is this? And you got Wilfred Brimley in there. That's great. Thank you, Cobra Kai platoon. You kick ass, man. That
Amazing. Look at
the
that.
lunch
Amazing
box.
stuff.
The lunchbox and Johnny's now in there.
I didn't realize I was your manservant.
No, you're Lars. You're Lars, our guide. With Gertrude.
With Gertrude. I don't have my where's my goose?
I love in the movie that goose got eaten. Isn't that terrible?
Oh,
Seriously, they ate Gertrude in the movie, but survived.
It's gotta happen.
That is so, Cobra Kai platoon. You kick ass, man. You're the best.
That's great work.
That really is on both of those.
Cool.
I
get to be Ace.
Nice. Why am I Peter? I'm
fucking Wilfred Brimley.
why am I not Paul?
I'm Paul.
I know, but I wanted to.
Or should Paul be Paul?
I would think no. Paul should be Gene. Wilfred should be Peter because of the mustache, those whiskers.
I will
Either way, that's hilarious.
I will quote the great American philosopher Peter Griffin, who said, "Even Peter Criss doesn't want to be Peter Criss." Nobody wants to be Peter Criss.
Giggity.
I love that episode because Lois, when they're at the Denny's and Gene's tongue goes across the floor and scoops up, you just hear Lois go, "Oh, Chaim." It's fucking awesome.
Oh, Family Guy is genius.
I'm just stoked I get to be Ace.
I can't believe I'm Peter. It means I'm first fucked.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Ace got first fucked, but
yeah.
I love Wilfred in there. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
I love that it's like the Family Guy Wilfred Brimley.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's exactly that's the Wilfred Brimley we want.
Yeah.
I love what Johnny did putting Barber Pop on the Gene Mobile. I don't like the gold.
That was Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
In the Discord, there's all this stuff in the Discord. That's it. That's amazing.
Do you like the gold tooth or you prefer the white teeth? Paulie?
What
do you like the gold on the Gene Mobile or do you like the white teeth? I kind of like the white teeth better.
Yeah, I mean, no, the white. I was just thinking, I want to make it just pimp it out even more. Just put a gold tooth, one gold tooth.
I just love the Barber Pop at the end.
Or one of the teeth is Vinnie Vincent's Ankh.
Cobra Kai, you do no wrong, man. You're awesomer than awesome. Thank you so much.
No, that's outstanding work.
You're fan of the year for sure. You're awesome, man. Thank you.
I love stuff like that, man.
I post stuff. I shove it on my Instagram.
I've always said this. The internet is at once the greatest and the worst thing ever invented. Because on the one hand, it gives people like Cobra Kai Platoon an opportunity, an outlet to be creative and hilarious and contribute to the enjoyment and distraction that the internet can be. On the other hand, it gives everybody a voice, and most people have less than nothing to say.
Yeah, so, and we love hearing from our fans, especially making you guys part of the show, because without you guys, we are nothing. Nothing.
It's your show. We're just the monkeys that sit here and feel. Actually, it's Johnny's show because he's the one that makes the money.
Yeah.
But it really, I mean, we sit here for a couple hours and shoot the shit every Tuesday night, sometimes on Saturday nights for Saturday Night Live, 9 to midnight Pacific.
That's John Beale's show.
That's John Beale's show, but he never gets a word in edgewise either, just like Johnny Beane. And it's just an opportunity to just sort of hang out and do our thing.
Yeah, and Steve Carmichael brings up you can get a lunch. Steve Carmichael, what's he have to say? You can get a lunchbox with an image printed on it from Zazzle, so we can actually have that lunchbox made.
I would love to get an image printed on that from Zazzle, except for Vince Neil killed Zazzle.
Too soon?
Too soon?
Oh, awesome, actually. I feel bad, but it was awesome.
Yeah, well, look, the arbiter of humor is, first and foremost, was it funny? If the first reaction is to laugh and then to go, oh, it's still okay.
I'm still okay with
As long as the first reaction is humor and you know that the wink is implied and that everything is fun, that's the spirit of the thing. That's how you make it work. If it's funny first, everything else doesn't matter. If it's obnoxious and uncalled for first, then it's not funny.
Did 802 Blues just get here now?
802 Blues, we're just starting. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, but we're going to do it. We're going to shut it down early tonight. Sorry.
Reverse. We're going to do it in reverse.
Yeah, welcome to the show. We're starting the show.
Hold on. We're about to.
We're
about
a very
to.
positive thing.
Okay, I'm
9:06.
starting.
Time to tap out.
Like HIV positive.
Oh,
Too
see, now that
soon.
wasn't funny.
Too soon. Let's see. 15. You're live in 10, Mr. Beane.
All right, here we go.
Music. We're starting.
The song that opens up the show.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal.
Welcome to a new episode of Talking Guitars and 80s Metal. Tuesday night.
Good night, everybody.
Johnny Beane, Neanderthal. What a great show.
Ah,
We're about
good.
to have. We're about to have.
I was trying to do the 80s, the late 80s, you know, the when they end the show and they go and they freeze frame it. But I got nothing.
Yeah, in my pants, I got nothing. Well, look, we hope everyone enjoyed the show. Leave comments. We reply to comments. We love fan mail. And like and subscribe. And look for us. When's the next show? On Friday. Friday, right?
No, what about Jay Hannon's metal show? When is that?
That's once a month.
That's every last.
And have you guys figured what name to call it? Is it going to be like, Boner Heart is Metal or something? Or?
I don't know.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yes.
Anyway, all right, we're out of here. Love you guys.
Good night.
That's our closing credit.